today. We have a Wednesday, the 22nd of July, and we have a whole studio of wonderful guests. Let's knock off the music there. And that includes Teri Chamberlain. Good morning, Teri. Good to see you this morning.
Good morning.
And John Meisinger is in for Dave Poles. Good morning to you.
Excellent.
Tyrus Kileon is here as well. Good morning to you, Tyrus.
Good morning.
And Johndisharoon. Yeah, we were tinkering with a number of things. We had a technical problem yesterday, and we solved that. Had to get a new charger. Is that what it's called? And Teri diagnosed it, and we were able to get a hold of Scott Tranchatella. I had to look at my notes here. Yeah. And we got that settled and a few other problems. But anyway, we have a quorum, so we can do a lot of things. I think we can put an end to the war in Ukraine with the quorum and the one in Iran as well. So welcome to the program. With our wonderful studio of talented people, our only guest is Annhagaman. I don't know how many in the studio know Ann. You know,
I know of her.
Yeah, and she is an actress, a musician, and a producer, and she will be a guest on our program around 8:15 this morning. In the meantime, we got lots to talk about. Yes, what?
I'm here because of that.
John
I'm
Meisinger.
trying out for a part.
Who?
No, when? I'm trying out for a part, and she's the producer, so I figured I would just meet her and move on into the
You know,
acting world.
I would expect we have a change in uniforms. You're wearing the cat shirt, though Johndisharoon worked for how many years for Caterpillar?
35.
Wow.
Well, this is a gift from my daughter who works at Caterpillar.
Oh,
well,
okay.
So that's why.
Well,
I thought I'd brighten
that
up the
means
world
you have
with
that means you have the team spirit, apparently.
I guess
Roger, is Annhagaman Larry's little sister?
He won't get.
Say that again.
Is Ann Larry's little sister?
I don't know.
I Dream of Jeannie, Larry Hagman.
Larry Hagman,
Hmm.
Mary Martin's son, Dallas.
Yeah,
I do
Dallas.
Magini.
Yep.
Well, I have to take
Did
your word.
you didn't understand that, did you?
I have to take your word for it, one way or the other.
I think
It's
it-
6:05 on a Wednesday morning in Peoria.
Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. Tyrus, how are you doing this morning?
Doing all right.
All right.
Tyrus had a long drive in.
You know,
Yes.
How long actually from the time you get into your Yugo and your drive here? How long does it take for you to arrive at Rockwood Drive?
Well, I took the horse and
I'm
carriage
going to
today.
say 27 minutes.
So, yeah, it's about like
Really?
20, 22, 25.
Depending on how fast you drive. At this time in the
yeah.
morning, there's not a lot of traffic,
No.
is there? Yeah.
Might be a few deer.
Few deer,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm still one of those, and you probably came on 116. Do I recall that?
Route 24.
24?
Take the low road.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's interesting because I thought most people took, Hannah City, Farmington,
If you live
and
on
to
the
Canton.
north side of Canton, you'll do that. If you live on the south side of Canton or Cuba, you come in the low road.
Well, it took you a while then, too, didn't it?
It's an hour, door to door.
Hmm.
Wow.
Not proud.
Oh. Well, I'll take your word for it. Well, let's do what we always do, is bring you the most comprehensive news and weather on Breakfast with Roger and Friends. And we manage to do that each and every day, Monday through Friday. And we're also on YouTube as well. And we'll start with a check of the weather. I have to remember, I believe John Disharoon's going to do the weather, and it's brought to you by Bob Manning, Senior Vice President, Financial Advisor with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley. For all your investment needs, call Bob. He's available at 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Here's John Disharoon.
Well, Roger's going to be good golf weather today. Sunny today, high of 77. Tonight's low is 57. Tomorrow sunny with a pleasant drop in temperature, high only 78. Tomorrow night's low is 59 under cloudy skies. Friday sunny and 77. Saturday sunny and a little warmer, high of 86. Sunday sunny and 93. Monday we're going to get it up to 92. That's our live weather. Now news with Teri Chamberlain and John Meisinger.
Well, the increase in the use of electric bicycles by young people was illustrated yesterday when a 5-year-old boy on one of those bikes was hit by a car in the 1600 block of North Great Oak Road near the Pearson Hills apartment complex, a few blocks west of Sterling Avenue. Peoria police say the 16-year-old driver left the scene without attending to the child. The teenager was located and arrested later by officers, while the boy went to the hospital with only minor injuries.
Well, electric bikes and scooters have surged in popularity. It's estimated that more than 300 million e-bikes and more than 100 million e-scooters are used globally. The use among teens 12 to 17 quadrupled over the past 5 years, sparking major safety and health concerns. Experts say they're dangerous for children and teens who lack the situational awareness and dexterity to safely operate them. And it's not unusual to see young passengers on bikes and scooters.
Like an old soapbox TV series on CBS, that empty 20-story high-rise business building at Jefferson and Hamilton is in the local media almost daily. Originally known as the First Federal Savings and Loan Association Tower, the structure is now named Riverview Plaza. Years ago, it was filled to capacity and included the studios of WIRL Radio and even had a fine restaurant called Top of the 20th close to the rooftop.
Different story today, though. The city has been after MJ Illinois owners of the structure to make life and safety repairs. City attorneys were in court this week seeking payments of fines levied for fire code violations 2 years ago. The court continues the case for 60 days. The building remains empty, at least we think.
Yeah, we really don't know,
really
do
don't
we?
know.
Define empty.
Since Caterpillar's headquarters left Peoria, its stock has soared in value, and the company has expanded, especially with the purchase of over 400,000 square feet of office space in Irving, Texas. The 15-acre site once was the headquarters of Zales Jewelry Corporation, founded in 1924. Caterpillar will spend $36 million to renovate the building that will be next to a planned 424,000 square foot parking garage. About that cat stock, it closed yesterday at just a tad under $890 a share.
You're a rich man, aren't you?
Not as rich as I was 3 months ago.
That's right. President Trump is promising more bombing and more airstrikes against Iran while also weathering attacks in Congress from some Democrats who want to pack up and leave the Middle East. The White House said that what happened under President Biden in Afghanistan, leaving behind billions of dollars in military hardware, now used by the enemies of Israel. During the retreat, a total of 13 U.S. service members were killed and 45 wounded at Abbey Gate.
War Secretary Pete Hegseth revealed the war in Iran has cost an estimated $37 billion. Spending so far related to the war in Ukraine estimated at roughly $195 billion. About $127 billion supporting Ukraine with military, financial, and humanitarian aid. In late 2024, the United States provided the Ukrainian government with a $20 billion loan.
Well, here's a hot topic to chew on this morning. The Internal Revenue Service is planning to tax members of Spain's World Cup soccer champion team up to 30%. Some Democrats and Republicans think that's wrong to tax the $50 million team that won. Defenders say Americans have to do it. The professional athletes have to pay it when Spain comes to the United States to compete. They knew it. If they didn't, they do now. Some lawmakers say the tax will make it difficult to attract other worldwide events. What say you? You say?
I
Do you?
say tax them. You know why? Just because we want to be nice guys. Why should they not be taxed? They, as you reported it very accurately,
Well, thank you.
they knew when they came here if they made money, the U.S. government is, namely the IRS, we're going to say, hey, you owe up to 30%.
Well,
What say you?
that sounds familiar.
You know, they do it in other events. One of the reasons that the World Poker Tour, these elite players that play in Macau and Hong Kong and every place but the United States, they refuse to come and play these high-stake tournaments in the U.S., even though it would be a great big draw in Las Vegas, because they get taxed. And they prefer to gamble in tax-free institutions. So if you have a $25 million pot, you want to take $25 million home
Sure.
with you, not 17.5. And it's one of the reasons the U.S. has never been able to land one of the big international tournaments. So
Interesting.
you can watch it on
There you go.
YouTube, you can watch it on Netflix, but you can't see it live unless you go to Macau.
I did not know that.
Where does your cow live?
My cow lives in the farm.
But, you know, we have the U.S. Open in golf that's open to all the players, and many of the players come from different countries. And we have the U.S. Tennis Open as well. So why all of a sudden, and I'm sure those who win from other countries are taxed, so why all of a sudden are we concerned of whether or not we should tax? And Spain has not been very supportive of us in our challenge in Ukraine and also in war with Iran. So,
Well, how?
And it's once every 4 years. These other events are annual events.
yes,
Right,
good
right.
point.
So it happens all the time. So, since when is Congress upset with taxing people? I mean, seriously, that's what's said in here. Some Democrats and Republicans both think it's wrong to tax.
Yeah,
Well, what the?
yeah.
You know, let's look at America first here. Should they be taxing us?
Well, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I've applied for citizenship from Spain.
See,
Yeah, and hoping that they'll give me a break if they give it to the
yeah.
Spanish players as well.
And the U.S. is one of just a handful of countries, maybe three, excuse me, that tax global income. So if you're an American citizen and you earn money in Canada or Europe or Australia, the IRS taxes you on all of it. Most countries only tax you on income that you make in that country. So Spain itself will not tax these guys for money earned in the United States. So
Interesting.
it's up to the United States.
Well,
to
they
get
might as
that
well
tax
pay
IRS.
somewhere then, right? There you go.
Correct.
Because we're not going to pay
Yes,
at home.
yeah. Interesting development.
Yeah.
All right, let's get some news from our news partners, WCBU. One of the reasons why we have more news more often than any other Peoria morning radio program, brought to you by Spoon River Home Health, making a difference in the lives of their clients. They've been doing that since 1993 with a comprehensive range of home health services from skilled nursing to bathing and personal care. Your choice matters at Spoon River. You can reach them today at 309-245-0723. Now, more news from WCBU.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Courtney Conroy. A Washington business owner is getting reimbursed more than $103,000 by the city. The payment approved by the Washington City Council is for damages done to Marlene Miller's building during construction of the Tangled Roots restaurant on the downtown square. Fellow downtown square building owner Tom Gross spoke in support of reimbursing Miller.
As the work went on, I was surprised to see the city administration in place at that time were comfortable ignoring the surrounding property owners' requests for assistance.
Under the agreement, the city admits no liability or wrongdoing. The incumbents running for re-election in two central Illinois U.S. House districts both have commanding fundraising advantages against their challengers. WCBU's Ryan Denham reports.
According to reports filed with the Federal Election Commission, Democratic Congressman Eric Sorensen's campaign has over $1.3 million in the bank as of the end of June, the end of the second quarter filing period. Sorensen has 23 times more money than his Republican challenger, Dylan Vansel. Republican Darren LaHood has $6.75 million in the bank. Democratic challenger Paul Nolly's campaign has about $230,000. I'm Ryan Denham.
Peoria Heights Mayor Matt Wigginton has been found not guilty of misdemeanor charges of driving under the influence. A Peoria County jury returned its verdict in the one-day trial Monday. Wigginton declined comment. The 42-year-old mayor was arrested in April after police found him slumped over the wheel of his vehicle in a downtown Peoria parking deck. Police body camera footage showed the vehicle was not running. Wigginton's speech was slurred as he spoke with officers. Defense attorney Kevin Sullivan previously said Wigginton attended a 5-hour civic event at the Pere Marquette Hotel and decided to take a nap when he got to his car. And Illinois Central College is holding a welcome reception tomorrow night for new president Jamonica Roll. Greater Peoria community members, business leaders, and ICC alumni are invited to greet Roll starting at 4:30 in the Student Center on the Peoria campus. Roll is the college's 6th president. She officially started her term July 1st as the successor to Sheila Quirk Bailey. I'm Courtney Conroy.
But there we go to 8, and it's Tyrus You're on the air. You're on the air with Tyrus.
Alrighty, thank you, Roger. Let's start with some Peoria sports news. The Peoria Chiefs at 41-47 and are back with a bang as they won 16-3 against the West Michigan Whitecaps, who is the affiliate with the Detroit Tigers. They play at 1:05 p.m. today, and this is their home series, so they have 5 more left against them. MLB news: the Cubs at 57-44 in second, 6 games out of the Brewers, beating the Tigers yesterday 11-2. They go for the series win tonight at 7:10 p.m. The St. Louis Cardinals at 51-49 in fourth, 11.5 games back. Lost last night 5-1 to the Angels. Losing streak stands at 4. That's been kind of tough. They will try not to get swept today at 3:07 p.m. White Sox at 53-47, tied for first. Got shut out last night, losing to the Rangers 10-0. Yankees at 56-44. They play the Pirates today at 12:05. They kind of got postponed yesterday, so a little rain. And they'll be going for the series win. The Phillies at 56-44. Lost to the Dodgers last night, and they're still in second. The Chicago Blackhawks signed Connor Bedard to his 5-year, $75 million extension, which is $15 million AAV. So he's
not too bad.
Locked him down. Yeah. I think we've been waiting for that like all off season here. And then of course, the big game in the World Cup, Spain beats Argentina 1-0 in extra to win the World Cup. And that's our sports.
And that's sports. Okay, a wrap up. We have a wrap on Tyrus this morning. Hey, I want to talk a little bit at the outset of something that is rapidly expanding, and we've touched on it this morning. Here we have a 5-year-old kid on an electric bike, and you ask the question, are the parents really, do they realize the danger those things are at any age? I was over at Culver's in Morton when a bunch of kids, and I'm trying to think, somebody had the statistic about kids between 12 and 17. That's what these kids were. About 6 kids rolled up in those, I guess they call them e-bikes now, electric bicycles. And I thought, is this what we want our kids to do, is run around on electric bikes instead of pedaling like we did when we were growing up?
Well, you've got the bikes and the scooters now, Roger. The scooters
scooters are even more dangerous.
Well, yeah, because you have less control of those than you do of a bicycle. And it's the ones with the leather jackets that scare me.
That says
The
Hell's
bikers.
Angels.
Hell's Angels or
Oh,
blood eyes on the back
Yeah.
of them or something.
Yeah.
Some of these bikes can go 30 or 40 miles an hour. I mean, they're really
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
I've got one. It's got all-terrain tires on it. I ride through the forest in Florida all the time. I've got one out at the lake, for gravel roads and things. And I can go 30 or 40 miles on a ride. If I'm pedaling, I can't go that far. So for me, it's pretty good exercise. But I see these kids, particularly in Florida all the time, where we're down most of the time, and they're literally mopeds, electric mopeds. Some of them don't even have pedals, and they've got these big engines, electric motors on them, and the kids will pop wheelies and they'll run right down the middle of the drag on sidewalks. I mean, it's out of control. And there was action in the Florida legislature to try to regulate it, and Governor DeSantis vetoed the bill. It was passed by a majority of both Republicans and Democrats in Florida.
What were his reasons to veto it?
Well, he said, people complain when kids are inside on their screens all day, and this is getting them outside, and parents need to be parents, and this is not a matter for the legislature, which I disagree on. I mean, I'm kind of a less regulation guy, but they're out of control, and I don't think some of these parents realize how dangerous those bikes are, because they go so fast, and kids just don't have the dexter ability to respond when they dart out in front of a car or see another bike coming. And there's no courtesy on the bike paths. They just zoom by you, and half the people that walk have got earphones on. They're not listening, and they're not paying attention. So there's multiple reasons why they're unsafe. But I don't think a 12-year-old kid ought to be on anything that goes 40 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm. I don't disagree with that. And the funny thing was, excuse me.
It was really funny.
No, it really wasn't funny. It was interesting, I
Okay.
guess I should say. When I'm in here, they pick me apart, John. They pick me apart
It's
all
unfair.
the time. It's unbelievable.
Well, that's funny.
So
That's not interesting. It's funny.
you were at Culver's over in Morton, and I think Tracy and I were driving through Culver's here out in Peoria, North Peoria, or I guess west area of town there out by Grand Prairie. And 4 or 5 kids that were probably 11, 12, 13 years old came by on scooters. The trouble is, that's such a high traffic area out there.
Yeah.
And Tracy goes, one of those kids is going to get hit. And I said, yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't happened. And then we heard on the news that,
5-year-old.
5 years old, though.
Can you
That's
imagine?
even a bigger story than the 16-year-old that
Yeah,
hit him that
that
left.
hit him, yeah.
That, a 5-year-old?
Yeah.
Seriously. Oh, my gosh. I thought they were supposed to still be on big wheels at 5.
Yeah. I was at 5 years old. I was just learning to walk.
It's those little white shoes you were wearing, Roger.
Yeah, exactly right. So what do we need? Legislation, which apparently the governor of Florida didn't agree with. I don't know whether they have enough votes to override the veto, but we regulate who can drive a car. Should we not regulate who can ride a bicycle?
As long as they don't vote, I guess it's okay.
Yeah. Well, we don't know that.
Well, this whole motorized vehicle thing came to light even more because, at least my feelings are that people with DUIs that can't
That's
drive,
their source to get to
that's
work.
their source back and forth to work. And they used to have the little moped motors on their bikes,
Yeah.
and it was. And in fact, there was a guy in town that built those specifically for people who needed them.
Yeah, I
And,
did not know that.
Well, I heard that story from one of the guys that we were talking to that rode one. He said, he says, I have had several DUIs. I'm not allowed to have a license, but I can ride a bike with a motor up to so large. So, and then now, with the electric, you don't even hear them.
No,
At
you
least those
don't.
other ones
Yeah.
you could hear.
And it's instant torque.
Oh,
I
definitely.
mean, 0 to
yes.
30 in 4 seconds.
Yep.
See, when we were growing up, we couldn't afford electrics on our bicycle, so we had the cardboard with the clothespin. That
worked.
Yeah, and that made the noise that we were talking about. The other thing too that's happening with these scooters, I have seen 2 people on one scooter.
Right.
And I think, and one day I saw a kid on a scooter come through Casey's parking area I mean, really fast over to the sidewalk on Queenwood, didn't blink an eye, and he was flying. Now, I don't know what the top speed is for a scooter, but he definitely was going far too fast.
Right.
When I was growing up and we'd see kids come up the hill on Hamilton riding double or triple, sometimes handlebars, sometimes back boogie, Dad would say, wait half an hour. They'll come back with 3 bikes.
That's the exact same story I heard.
Yeah.
And they did.
Well, what's the answer? Or is there an answer?
Well,
do we start seeing a rise in injuries? And you had the figures there globally, which is kind of not accurate when we talk about kids, because when I was in Europe, and I'm sure you saw it when you were in Europe later on, John, is that a lot of people, particularly in Holland, rode bicycles to go to work.
But they didn't have motors on them, did they?
No, they did not have motors on them. You're right.
Windmills and bicycles.
Yeah.
well, maybe just shorter cords.
We just need more adulting, I think.
Yeah, I think parents need to parent. I agree with the governor on that part of it, but I agree with him on that for everything that kids do.
Yeah.
I think, and we've seen it in school. You know that you see that kind of thing going on in school. Not scooters, but just there are some kids that have lack of supervision, and that's not
you're
their fault.
kidding.
I know it's hard to believe.
It's hard to believe.
It's hard to believe, but I was one of those children.
Control their children.
You think I was? Yeah, right.
What's the price range? I think when I checked yesterday, you can get one, probably a used one, for less than $750 to high end. And some of that I noticed, these kids, they obviously were the sons of very wealthy families. They were high-end bikes. They had the thick tires, and they were expensive e-bikes. And who sells them? Do they get them off the internet, or is there a local dealer?
So you can get
Because
them.
I want to buy one.
So you can get them at Illinois Cycle here in Peoria.
Okay.
You can get them at Walmart. You can
Bushwhack.
get them at and what's the Russells over there? And
Yep.
I mean, everybody's got them now. But the internet, the bike that I bought, my e-bike up here for the lake, I bought off the internet, and it's got everything. I've got a real high-end bike down in Florida. It's got everything that my bike in Florida has, and it was 25% of the cost. And it came in a big box on UPS. I had to put it together, but the frame was there, the rear tire. I just had to do the front and some of the wiring and stuff. But it took me a couple hours, and it's equivalent of a $7,000 bike that you can get for $1,500. And if you buy 2, it's like half off the second one. I mean, these things are just,
Really?
and they're shipped out of a warehouse in California. And so if you pick your color and the speed, the size of your motor and all that stuff,
Wow.
and before you check out, it says add one more for $750. So you just paid $2,000 for a bike, and it says add one more for $750, and you click that, and it goes add 2 for $900 because they want it.
Like what? They just want you to get them.
Yeah,
All right, I hate to ask this question, but are they made in China?
every single one of them.
Yeah.
And all the motors come out of China. Even the ones that you buy here, I don't know that the U.S. makes a bicycle anymore. Even Schwinn is owned by a Chinese company, I
One
think.
hung low. Yeah.
Or 2.
Not going there.
But there is a temptation for it.
Definitely is, but I'm stopping while
Terry's blushing.
Well, that's a good sign. Let's get into the news at the bottom of the hour. And it's brought to you as a service of Morton Community Banks with over 50 branches, and they offer a full range of personal and business banking services. Hometown banks, FDIC insured, so your deposits are safe. Look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you. And we have the news headlines with Terry and John. So have at it.
The increase in the use of electric bicycles by young people was illustrated yesterday when a 5-year-old boy on one of those e-bikes was hit by a car in the 1600 block of North Great Oak Road near the Pearson Hills apartment complex, which is a few blocks west of Sterling Avenue. Peoria police say the 16-year-old driver left the scene without attending to the child. The teenager was located and arrested later by officers, while the boy went to the hospital with minor injuries.
And like an old soapbox TV series on CBS, that empty 20-story high-rise building at Jefferson and Hamilton is in the local media almost daily. Originally known as the First Federal Savings and Loan Association Tower, the structure is now named Riverview Plaza. Years ago, it was filled to capacity and included the studios of WIRL Radio.
Do you remember that, John? Are you old enough to remember that?
Of course I do. And you're going to get a cookie.
Yeah. Now, that was on WMBD. That was the guys who said about the cookie.
Was it?
That was Milton Budd and
Bob Carlton.
Bob Carlton. Very
Gene
good.
Conrad was on.
Gene Conrad
IRL.
was WIRL.
Yeah.
Right.
Mort Canner.
And Steve Young, Mort Kenner, you're right.
Robin
and
Weaver.
Robin Weaver.
Robin Weaver. Rancid
Yeah,
Recipes.
the Rancid
Yep,
Recipes and Lee Ranson.
Lee Ranson.
And H.T. Howard Taylor did the overnights.
Oh, you're right. Good guy.
Well, today things have changed. The city has been after MJ Illinois, owners of the structure, to make life and safety repairs. City attorneys were in court seeking payment of fines levied for fire code violations 2 years ago. The court continued the case for 60 days. The building remains empty.
Since Caterpillar's headquarters left Peoria, its stock has soared in value, and the company has expanded, especially with the purchase of over 400,000 square feet of office space in Irving, Texas. Caterpillar will spend $36 million to renovate the building that will be next to a planned 424,000 square foot parking garage.
President Trump is promising more bombing and more airstrikes against Iran, while also weathering attacks in Congress from some Democrats who want to pack up and leave the Middle East. The White House said that's what happened under President Biden in Afghanistan, leaving behind billions of dollars of military hardware now used by the enemies of Israel. During that retreat, a total of 13 U.S. service members were killed and 45 wounded at Abbey Gate.
War Secretary Pete Hegseth revealed the war in Iran has cost an estimated $37 billion. Spending so far related to the war in Ukraine estimated at roughly $195 billion, about $127 billion supporting Ukraine with military, financial, and humanitarian aid.
Now here's the hot topic two on this morning. The Internal Revenue Service is planning to tax members of Spain's World Cup soccer champion team up to 30%. Some Democrats and Republicans think that's wrong to tax the $50 million the team won. Defenders say Americans have to do it. Our professional athletes have to pay it, and when Spain came to the United States to compete, they knew it. If they didn't, they do now. Some lawmakers say the tax will make it difficult to attract other worldwide events. Your opinions? I'm still trying to wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
That they're not citizens of the United States. And so why should they have to pay for money that they won? Now, whether here spending stuff, I mean, their hotels, their meals and all that, they're paying a sales tax like everybody else. Mm-hmm. But I don't understand why they're paying a revenue tax, basically an income tax, on money that they won here when they're not citizens of the United States. But you're saying are other athletes do that? I mean, they go...
because they earned it in this country. A good example are the migrants who used to come to Princeville at Joan of Arc Canning, and they worked the whole summer. Are you saying then they shouldn't have to pay any tax? And they worked 6 to 8 months in the United States. Why, when you went to work, you had to pay the taxes.
I'm a resident of here.
So if you're not from this country, you get a free ride.
Well, you're still, again, you're paying sales taxes and that, but okay, so they're not a resident. They come in, they do their job. If you're taking money out for Social Security, which a regular paycheck would, they're not residents. They're not, technically, they shouldn't be able to cash in on that when they're 65 because they're not going to be living here to collect that. So why should they have to pay into that pool?
Well, for one thing, they're being protected by the police. Their kids are going to schools in the school districts, and they're enjoying the same services for which you are experiencing and where you're paying. And because they're from another country, they shouldn't have to pay.
I just give me time to digest it here, and I'm still...
John, what do you think?
valid arguments both ways. But yeah,
Boy,
I don't know.
now,
Are
I
we?
sure you ought to run for public office. That's
yeah,
a good,
definitely.
There's arguments
I
on
could,
both
but see
sides.
that I'm not going to,
Yeah.
and never would think
You're
of
too-
it.
You're too smart.
I hope so. Not that you have to be stupid to be in public office, but I just don't want
Well,
to deal with
now
that. But now my
that's
point.
open to debate too.
Well, we're talking depends on the level, but are we not doing that with where they're getting all their things for free when they come here anyway, right? We're talking about the migrants that have been here legally or illegally. They show up, and they're taken care of, are they not?
Mhm.
So are they paying taxes?
Well, some people say they.
I'm
they
just
are.
curious. I don't
You
know.
know, that's a good question for our tax guy, Matt Wall.
Let's ask Matt. You know, I lived in Belgium for 7 years, and I paid Belgian taxes when I was there. Kat kind of took care of it for me, but what they did for us as an expat living in Belgium is Kat would do a pseudo tax return as if I lived in Peoria, and then anything above and beyond that they would pay. But after 7 years in Belgium, it was a pretty hefty sum. But the Belgian government wanted every cent. They audited every year how much I worked in Belgium. I had to keep track of my calendar, how many days I was in Belgium, how many days I was in Switzerland, how many days I was in Africa, you know,
Wow.
blah, 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 blah. And then we would do this massive calculation on it, and they would come in every year and sit down and go through travel receipts and hotel receipts and make sure that they got every last dime. So other countries do it. And the problem with that, though, is that the U.S. taxed me both on income I made while I was in the U.S. and income I made overseas, and then I paid overseas income tax. I mean, it gets very complicated.
No wonder you were riding an e-bike.
That was not an e-bike I saw him come in on today. That definitely wasn't.
Yeah, take my word
That
for
was
it,
more.
right?
That was more like the Starship Enterprise. That thing is huge. What a beautiful
Well,
vehicle.
we interrupted. We didn't get a check of the weather,
Oh.
and that's next. And it's brought to you by Matt Wall. We're talking about Matt Wall, CPA and tax specialist. He's with Gordon Stockman and Wall. All things finance. If you have some challenges in the financial world, either as a business or an individual, Matt Wall is available at 309-692-4030. What's our weather, John?
Sunny and breezy today, high 77. Tonight, it's going to get down to 57 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny with a pleasant drop in temperature, high only 78. Tomorrow night, it gets down to 59 under cloudy skies. Friday, sunny and 77. Saturday, a little bit warmer, gets up to 86. Sunday, sunny and 93. Monday, around 92 degrees. That's our live weather, and currently it's 67 degrees in Peoria.
Not too shabby, is it?
Very pleasant.
Well, one of the things I wanted to bring up this morning, we talked a little bit about it yesterday, the memories of the old First Federal Savings and Loan Association tower. I don't remember us talking as much about it as a tower as we did the First Federal Savings building, for that matter. But do you remember eating at the top of the 20th?
Once.
Yeah,
Yeah,
once. And-
But
and
but Roger, I do remember when they were building it.
you do.
Yes, and going up there to the top when they only had rope around the edges, and we weren't supposed to be there, obviously.
Yeah.
But
So you were there. You actually.
Well, you know, when you live, we just walk down the hill to downtown from where I lived, and we're always curious about what was going on, and we would find ways to go up and see things, and we went up into that. It was pretty tall when you're a little guy,
20 stories.
and we got up there, and you know that hole upstairs was open because they hadn't finished it yet, and so.
What a thrill that had.
Yeah,
It
it was
scary.
well.
How old would you say you
John-
were?
oh,
14, 15?
Oh no, not that old. Maybe 10, 11 years
And
old.
you walked down there?
Yeah, and took the steps up, which I couldn't do now. But you know, they were working on it. I don't know how we got past everybody, but you know, you do things when you're a kid that maybe isn't the smartest thing to do. But yeah, I do remember when they were building it, and it was. I still, it just amazes me that the thing is, excuse the expression, empty. That's a
Yeah.
huge building
It
to be
is, yeah.
empty.
And you know, it's just like a house. If you leave it unattended
Falls
and
apart.
empty, bad things are going to happen.
Oh,
Bugs
yeah.
start coming in, and it develops an odor. I remember going, and I've had the same experience you had at the top of the 20th reservation. It was not, the guy who ran it, I think, was something head chef at the Paramount Hotel. Well known. Do you have any idea?
No,
I think he was involved in the construction or the restaurant over in Morton. There were two fine restaurants. Bob Michael had financial interest in one of them. Do you remember the names of the two?
I remember the Pepper Mill and the Blue Max.
Yeah.
That was
Oh, dude,
what I
that's
remember.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
At any
all that.
rate,
I do remember.
the top of the 20th was not well attended, and that's one of the reasons why it folded. I remember, I think Royce and I went up and said, hey, let's try, because the view was wonderful.
It's gorgeous.
Spectacular. And the head waiter, the maitre d', whatever you want to call him, there wasn't a soul there yet. It was like 11:30 in the morning. And what do you think the first thing he said to us?
Do you have a reservation?
Yeah, I have
And
reservations
Royce-
of being this high.
Royce tore him apart so quickly. He said, yeah, it looks like we need one. Because you're overwhelmed. And the guy did not smile. He didn't particularly enjoy Royce's dry humor.
Well, I think the last time I was up there was, I would say maybe 8 or 9 years ago, and it was for a meeting with Rotary, one of the committee meetings, and I was Baird up there at one time, maybe one of the financial institutions.
Yeah, I probably.
And
Raymond James as well.
Raymond James, that's what it was. Yeah, and we went up there, and it was like I couldn't take my eyes off of looking around and seeing
Yeah.
what I could see, and including which. I guess I didn't pay that much attention prior to being up that high, but the old armory roof gone. I mean, there's nothing there but beams, right?
Right,
And,
yeah,
and it
yeah.
just absolutely, that I just couldn't take my eyes off of. I said, oh my gosh, Bradley used to play there. But that's a prime example what's going to happen to this building
Yeah.
if nobody maintains it.
So my broker at Raymond James, they were up there on the 20th floor,
Right.
and my guy had that corner office on Hamilton and whatever that corner is. So you're looking out over the river, and you can see everything. I mean, you see the cathedral, the river, the boat, East Peoria, Bass Pro Shops, all that stuff. And when they were forced to move because the city condemned the building, and they're now at the Pabst Building, another beautiful place out in the Heights. But every time I went down there, and I remember this as a little kid too, I was like, how does this thing stand? Because it had that free story where it was
Right.
just the pillars holding up the top like 18 floors. Architectural wonder. My small brain was like, this building can't be structurally sound.
Yet you were there.
Because you can go all the way through, yeah. Yet I took the elevator and went up there, and I'm like, this is how much I love Keith Yoder. At Raymond James. Call him if you want to make money.
Well, I worked for a while at WRL in sales for Mort Canner. And it was a nice building, well maintained. And I think just about every floor was fully occupied. And over the years, I just fell into hard times. And since it's been empty for so long, and I don't understand why the owners have not taken steps to make repairs to the building. I don't understand that.
Well, they live in Hong Kong, I think, and it's one of many
or Hong
buildings
Kong
they
or
own.
whatever the case may be. But it was a beehive of activity. But you could ask the same question: whatever happened to First Federal Savings and Jefferson Savings and Loan Association and Associated Bank that was on the ground floor of the now what do they call it, Riverview Plaza? And prior to that, it was the Chase Plaza.
Well, it's like other buildings that I see that go up for sale downtown. And most recently, the Becker Building, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. What's going to happen there if it doesn't sell? Are the people going to vacate because prices of rent are going up? Is it doomed to be an empty building as well?
Is the city going to take over maintenance?
Good luck with that. I mean,
Isn't it interesting? Two landmarks, you might say, of downtown Peoria when you come down on I-74 going westbound, and you see the skyline and the two, well, actually three prominent structures. The Chase Building in trouble, the Becker Building in trouble, but not St. Mary's.
Well, no, because we are putting money into that.
Yeah.
A lot of people are.
And it's being used.
It's being used a lot.
Fortunately
yes.
for
And they're getting a saint.
That's
Yes.
right. And
Yeah.
you know what? We could talk about that someday. The impact it's going to have on the economic impact. People come to visit places where they have saints buried.
Yeah.
And people, we don't know what's going to happen with that, but it's going to be larger than we ever thought.
The Pope is going to be in St. Louis for that ceremony.
Well, that's a rumor.
There's a rumor that's
So far.
floated.
Maybe they'll open up the Elms of El Paso and just have that little.
That's true.
Wouldn't that be nice if they did great eating?
Born here, buried there.
That's right. Just have a road. You just go.
Just
straight
ride
out.
your e-bike all along the trail of our dainted saint.
Yeah.
Follow the
Sheen
line.
Trail.
Follow-
Sheen Trail.
fo-
Yes.
Follow the star.
You've heard of Cat Trail? Well, that's
yeah.
Sheen Trail.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. We have 65 degrees, and we also have, as usual, our pet tip of the day.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little-known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Stress is all around us these days, especially in the workplace. Some employers are seeing the benefits of folks bringing their pets to work with them. This can be great for both you and your pet if the proper precautions are taken. First, only take dogs to work that are properly socialized, well-behaved, and clean. Then consider the type of work you do. A construction worker versus an office or daycare worker will have different needs for their pets. Make sure all their vaccinations are current. Take all the doggy essentials such as toys, bed, water dish, leash, and pooper scooper. Find a safe spot for Fido. An outdoor worker must make sure there is shelter from the elements, and it's not up to the others to watch for his safety. Office workers may want to have a puppy gate to keep Fido in their personal office space. A daycare worker will have to teach the children how to behave around a dog. Hard as it is to believe, some people are not fond of dogs. Make the experience a good one for everyone by taking others' needs into consideration and keeping your dog close to you and quiet. Taking some time to help your pooch adjust to the new surroundings, sounds, and co-workers will be a great benefit to all. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's pet tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Well, we need to tell you today's going to be a nice day, although it was cloudy. I kept looking at the skies, and they said, well, it's going to be sunny today, but I don't know if any of you were watching the sky coming in this morning, but I thought it was overcast and looked a little ominous, but they're sticking to the guns from the National Weather Bureau. Sunny, high of 77.
Look out the window.
Yes.
I didn't see any clouds. No, when I came in, there were very few clouds in the sky. There were some in the west, if I recall right.
You were coming from the west, weren't you?
Yes, and so I
Did you
couldn't
see it
any
in the
coming
side
east.
view mirror?
In the side view mirror, yes,
Yeah.
I did, as a matter of fact. But
Yeah.
things appear closer than they actually are.
Yeah.
Objects in them.
How was it in Princeville? Our prince?
Well,
Yes.
Deep subject.
it's a little dark.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes. What do you mean?
ominous is a good word, but I guess it's gonna be sunny.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're saying.
So
You know, the trouble we have is we don't have a weather window, but we have 2 weather doors.
yeah,
Whether or not you want to go through 'em.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I want to go back to those e-bikes because when I was growing up, we all had bicycles. Now, Terry, I assume you rode a bicycle when you were. Everybody had a bike. I don't know how we afforded it, but a lot of kids had used bikes. And Schwinn was a Cadillac of bicycles. And then I think we talked about it before. Montgomery Ward, I think, came out with Huffy,
Huffies,
Huffy,
Right.
and that was a cheap thing. And some kids didn't like riding around on a Huffy
Well, I
because,
did.
yeah, you rode a Huffy,
I
did
rode
you?
a Huffy
Yeah.
and a Schwinn. I had one of each at some point.
I got on the bicycle, I think about a year ago, and mine turned out to be Huffy Puffy. And
yeah.
and you know, it's amazing. There's a older couple when they come through the neighborhood. They're not setting any records, but they have all the gear. They have the helmets on. They have the gloves. And the other morning, when I came back from doing the morning show, they were taking a rest in the subdivision. So they may have reached a point where they may have to park their bikes, or maybe they were having a nutrition candy bar or something.
Just a place to stop and relax. And you know, I got I think they call it, is it a Cannon, a bike? And we got him. It was for road, you know, riding out on the trails
With the
and
special
stuff.
tires.
Yeah, it had a little bigger tires, but not like the big ones you see now. But I had a hard time mostly at an older age with the seat. I could not find a seat to save my life that wouldn't put
Hey,
vital organs to
Hey,
sleep.
I want to tell you something,
Right.
pal. I had trouble with that when I was 15.
Oh, I almost
There
stopped
was
and grabbed
something.
one off of a tractor on the
There-
side of
you
the
remember
road.
what they used to call those seats?
Oh, I know I
Yeah.
don't because
Well, I
they
do,
were
but it's-
painful.
but
I
it
know
was-
that.
Yeah, it's a family show, so I
Okay,
won't
all right.
give the expression for it. Yeah, there's no. They came out with a new type of seat that was larger. And what was the name of it?
Banana?
Banana. You're right.
Yeah, those are very long.
But
Yeah,
but
on
it
the
was
Stingray
never
bike.
the length of the seat
No,
that was a
it was
problem
the-
for me.
Yeah.
It was the width.
Yeah. Well said.
So
yeah.
when you look at my bike, and I've got the biggest seat I can buy from China. It's, I mean, literally, it's probably 14, 15, 18, 20 inches. I don't know. It's wide because I got to be comfortable. If you're going to ride 40 miles,
Right.
you
40
can't-
miles.
you can't have a post, you
No.
know,
No.
sitting on you. So yeah, people look at me and go, man, look at that seat. I'm like, ride it. I'm like, oh wow, this is.
It makes a difference.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
you've seen my truck, right? I
Yes.
like a big seat.
You're going to be comfortable.
Yep.
And you know, Walmart used to really be big on bicycles. They had a big display and so forth. And the one of the bikes they had a special on. If you bought it, I think it was on a Saturday, you got a year's supply of Preparation H in case you were having problems with the seat.
And you need it. You need it.
Could you trade in for
that-
preparation
that-
G?
Yeah, that was entirely
Yeah, I think you need.
unnecessary.
Never had to give yourself the buzzer before.
Yeah.
I saw
Well,
one. I saw someone ride one right out the store one time.
without pain.
Oh yeah.
Is
They're
that
like,
right?
yeah. They go, oh, hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
As I'm walking in, this person's riding the bike out the store.
You know, I never thought about that. You could actually take it and head to the garden shop like you were going to pay for it, and then get on it right past the clerk in the garden store.
No, well, you don't even need to
Yeah.
go that way. You can just go through the self scans and just keep going. You know.
Yeah, but there's usually there in Morton. There's a lovely lady, elderly lady. God bless her.
There you go.
She
You
is
just said
just-
why it can happen.
She's going to stop you.
This is not going to stop
She is not going to step in front of the bicycle. and she's not going to do much of anything.
Can I see your receipt? Think
they-
again, Grandma. If you can catch me.
Off you go.
And I'm sure she said, that's not in my job description. But I do want to commend her. I mean, at her age and what she's doing, she's very polite, very cordial. I don't know how often you go to Walmart and Morton at one time. I assume you did when you worked there, Terry. But she's just a neat lady, and I'm glad that companies have recognized that older Americans are a good choice of employee.
I hope she's there because she wants to be, not because she has to be, though.
That's a good point.
Because to me, it just breaks my heart when I see older folks who ought to be home drinking lemonade and enjoying their twilight, getting up and standing on their feet for 8 hours because they have to pay for medicine, or they got to rent or whatever.
Good point, yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that they're able to find employment. I just hope they're doing it because they want to get out of the house and meet people, not because they need to make ends meet.
However, as you
That's a good
you
point.
know, John, one of the things the medical profession is pushing is for people to stay active rather than just drink lemonade in their twilight days.
I know.
And
but
I
Very
know
true
that's,
also.
pardon?
Very true also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to keep moving.
Have you noticed, and I don't know if you have or not, as you go through drive-throughs, there are now older adults
Yes,
that are
yeah.
taking orders and making change.
Yeah.
and know how to make change.
Yeah, you don't need to hear that cling, 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 and then somebody grabs it. Here you go. Or you hand them it's got a penny in there somewhere, and you hand them a $20.01, and the look of fear.
The headlight look.
It's
yes,
like,
they don't know
No,
what
it's
to do with it.
$13.51.
Yeah. Well, here's 20.01. I don't get it.
That's too much money. Man. The 20 will do it.
Yeah, by the way, are we blowing out of proportion the penny supply? And
Have you got pennies and change recently in a
I've got-
drive-through?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Okay.
Arby's
I
and Morton
I've
has
not.
given me, and they've got a sign, try to make it exact change because of the penny shortage.
I am saving my pennies.
I've got thousands. You want them?
So do I. Do I want them?
Nickel a piece.
Nickel a piece. Well, yeah, you're still making money at a nickel a piece, but not at 3 cents, right? But yeah, I'm keeping them now. I'm not going to.
That raises a question. Would somebody on this panel explain to me all these commercials about it is safer and a better investment to expand your financial portfolio by buying gold and silver? I don't understand, because if you have a gold supply or gold coins, you can't go into Walmart and buy something with them, can you?
No, it's not
What
legal
do you
tender.
do with the coins?
You go to a coin shop or a gold broker and sell them.
And hope that it's going to be worth everything that they said it was.
So
worth.
gold pretty much transacts at the price. Silver is a little bit different. Now, if it's a silver coin,
Yeah.
you usually get spot for it. But if you're melting down sterling silver, they're paying only 65% of spot price for it, which is better. So if you got an old set of real silverware and you're looking for a couple $1,000s, if you got a full set, you can get that out of a set of silverware. Now they'll melt it down and get almost 50% more with just silver bullion. But if you've got a gold coin, particularly one that is minted and looks like a gold coin, it's not just a bunch of melted jewelry, you'll get spot price for it almost at any.
What do you mean spot choice? What do you mean by that?
Spot price. So the gold trades every hour of every day.
Oh,
And you
I
pulled
see.
up on your app, so I'll tell you what it is right now. So if you say you bought a U.S. nickel, a Buffalo gold coin 10 years ago for $900, today you could walk into almost any gold shop, and there's several in Peoria and Springfield, and they will give you, as of 6:59 this morning, $4,122 for that 1 ounce gold coin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm looking
Well,
at my
I
pockets.
say, yeah. I'm going to check. I'm going to break my piggy bank and see what the heck I've got inside there.
And so silver right now is at $59.35 a spot for an ounce of silver. And so if you're taking sterling silver, not plated, but sterling real silver, and you take it to, some pawn shops do it, but there are silver buyers. You have to go to Springfield really to do silver. They will weigh it, make sure, they know how to do it. If it's a cup, they break it apart and take the plaster out and the structure that they dip the silver into.
Boy, no kidding.
And then they weigh it, and they'll give you 60 to 65% of spot. So 60% of 60 is $45. They'll give you $45 an ounce for that silver. And so if you've got a full set of silverware,
And I do.
then the only thing, the knives, usually the handle is not silver, but the blade is, or maybe the blade is stainless and the handle silver. Anyway, the forks, the spoons, the serving spoons, ask me how I know this. Those are all 100% silver. They just
How do you
weigh 'em
know
out.
that, John?
Because I used to broker in them.
Did you really?
Yeah, and so you can, and a lot of people they don't use silver anymore.
No.
But they inherited a set from their grandmother, and they're like, "Hey, Dish, what's this worth?" And I'm like, weigh that box. You got 5 pounds of silver there. $60 an ounce.
Not too
that's a lot of
shabby.
That's $800 a pound. You got $4,000 worth of silver there.
Well, how many times in recent years have you had a family and you go to a drive-in or a restaurant and they come home with all the plasticware that was made in China? And you say, well, I've got silverware. No, because then you have to wash it, and et cetera, and so forth. So I have a couple of silver knives, forks, and spoons, and so forth. I can't remember the last time I used them.
I'll tell you a funny story. We were, I guess it's top of the hour. I'll wait till after the news.
Well, if it's funny, oh, you're right. We're past. I'm fascinating stuff because I'm thinking about.
You're thinking about
Yeah.
diversifying,
Yeah.
correct? You're going to diversify?
That is funny because that's right out of a TV
It
commercial.
sure is.
That's well done. John Meisinger,
Well,
call
it just shows up
call
once a lot
John
on
at
TV.
Gold GOLD 685-5136. I'm excited about getting rid of my silverware.
You want to cut out early, Roger? We'll cover.
Oh, gee. I just think I've gotten rich overnight.
Just figure out his retirement options.
All right. I don't know why it's so funny, but it is true. It's Wednesday, July 22nd on this golden morning, or silver morning for that matter. Well, let's start with that check.
It looked a
Of
bit
the
silvery
weather.
out.
I don't know why that's so funny. And it was brought to you by Steve Singh, certified business specialist. He's been with PHX affiliates now for more than 20 years. And he specializes in helping people buy, sell their business, and he provides business valuations. And you can reach Steve Singh today at 309-696-8508. That's 696-8508. Now check of the weather.
It's sunny and breezy today, high of 77. Tonight's low 57. Tomorrow, continued sunny with a pleasant drop in temperature, high of only 78. Tomorrow night, it's going to be 59 for a low under cloudy skies. Friday, it's going to be sunny and 77. Saturday, a little warmer, high of 86. Sunday, sunny and 93. Currently, it's 67 degrees in Peoria.
And we have news coming up, and our news brought to you by Advanced Medical Transport, the premier provider of emergency and scheduled ambulance services in central, western, and eastern Illinois. More than 500 employees at AMT, men and women dedicated to offering and providing the best in healthcare. They're wonderful people. God bless them. Saving lives is what they do. Now with the news, here are Teri and John.
Well, the increase in the use of electric bicycles by young people was illustrated yesterday when a 5-year-old boy on one of those bikes was hit by a car in the 1600 block of North Great Oak Road, which is near the Pearson Hills apartment complex a few blocks west of Sterling Avenue. Peoria police say the 16-year-old driver left the scene without attending to the child. The teenager was located and arrested later by officers, while while the boy went to the hospital with only minor injuries.
Electric bikes and scooters have surged in popularity. It's estimated that more than 300 million e-bikes and more than 100 million e-scooters are in use globally. The use among teens 12 to 17 quadrupled over the past 5 years, sparking major safety and health concerns. Experts say they're dangerous for children and teens who lack the situational awareness and dexterity to safely operate them. And it's not unusual to see young passengers on bikes and scooters.
Like an old soapbox TV series on CBS, that empty 20-story high-rise business building at Jefferson and Hamilton is in the local media almost daily. Originally known as the First Federal Savings and Loan Association Tower, the structure is now named Riverview Plaza. Years ago, it was filled to capacity and included the studios of WIRL Radio and even had a fine restaurant called Top of the 20th close to the rooftop.
Different story today, though. The city has been after MJ Illinois owners of the structure to make life and safety repairs. City attorneys were in court this week seeking payment of fines levied for the fire code violations 2 years ago. The court continued the case for 60 days. The building remains empty, at least we think it does.
No, we're not sure.
Since Caterpillar's headquarters left Peoria, its stock has soared in value, and the company has expanded, especially with the purchase of over 400,000 square feet of office space in Irving, Texas. The 15-acre site once was the headquarters of Zales Jewelry Corporation, founded in 1924. Caterpillar will spend $36 million to renovate the building that will be next to a planned 424,000 square foot parking garage. And about that cat stock, it closed yesterday at just a tad under $890 a share.
President Trump is promising more bombing and more airstrikes against Iran while also weathering attacks in Congress from some Democrats who want to pack up and leave the Middle East. The White House said that what happened under President Biden in Afghanistan, leaving behind billions of dollars in military hardware now used by the enemies of Israel. During the retreat, a total of 13 U.S. service members were killed and 45 wounded at what's referred to as Abbey Gate.
Yeah. Do you remember the heartbreaking video of that C-130, was it? And they were hanging on to parts of the plane, the wing, and running ahead of the plane and so forth. I mean, that was heartbreaking.
Trying to get
Those
out of the
people
country.
wanted to get on that plane and get the hell out of the country, out of that part of the world. That was such a
Well,
tragic.
that tells you something, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it tells you what life is like there.
Yeah. It also tells you something about our country. You don't see a lot of people wanting to get out unless you're Rosie O'Donnell who wants to live in Greenland and grow bananas. But here, all these people are eager to come to this country, and so they can listen to people tearing us down.
That's correct.
For what we are and what we represent in the world. In other news,
War Secretary Pete Hegseth revealed the war in Iran has cost an estimated $37 billion. Spending so far related to the war in Ukraine estimated at roughly $195 billion, about $127 billion supporting Ukraine with military, financial, and humanitarian aid. In late 2024, the United States provided the Ukrainian government with a $20 billion loan.
Well, here's a hot topic to chew on this morning. The Internal Revenue Service is planning to tax members of Spain's World Cup soccer champion team up to 30%. Some Democrats and Republicans think that's wrong to tax the $50 million the team won. Defenders say Americans have to do it. Our professional athletes have to pay. When Spain came to the United States to compete, they knew it. If they didn't, they do now. Some lawmakers say the tax will make it difficult to attract other worldwide events. What say you, peoples?
yeah, that's a good question.
interesting,
And we've
isn't it?
already had a healthy discussion of opinions
It was
and
debate.
debate about it, and rightly so for that matter. And let's get news from WCBU, brought to you by Sam Lilly and Associates, providing a comprehensive range of insurance products, including personal, auto, home, life, and medical coverage. Sam specializes in Medicare plans and options. That's something Sam has been doing for his more than 40 years in the business. For more information from Sam Lilly and Associates, His phone number, 309-245-4374. Now more news from WCBU.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm Courtney Conroy. A Washington business owner is getting reimbursed more than $103,000 by the city. The payment approved by the Washington City Council is for damages done to Marlene Miller's building during construction of the Tangled Roots restaurant on the downtown square. Fellow downtown square building owner Tom Gross spoke in support of reimbursing Miller.
As the work went on, I was surprised to see the city administration in place at that time were comfortable ignoring the surrounding property owners' requests for assistance.
Under the agreement, the city admits no liability or wrongdoing. The incumbents running for re-election in 2 central Illinois U.S. House districts both have commanding fundraising advantages against their challengers. WCBU's Ryan Denham reports.
According to reports filed with the Federal Election Commission, Democratic Congressman Eric Sorensen's campaign has over $1.3 million in the bank as of the end of June, the end of the second quarter filing period. Sorensen has 23 times more money than his Republican challenger, Dylan Vansel. Republican Darren LaHood has $6.75 million in the bank. Democratic challenger Paul Nolly's campaign has about $230,000. I'm Ryan Denham.
Peoria Heights Mayor Matt Wigginton has been found not guilty of misdemeanor charges of driving under the influence. A Peoria County jury returned its verdict in the one-day trial Monday. Wigginton declined comment. The 42-year-old mayor was arrested in April after police found him slumped over the wheel of his vehicle in a downtown Peoria parking deck. Police body camera footage showed the vehicle was not running. Wigginton's speech was slurred as he spoke with officers. Defense attorney Kevin Sullivan previously said Wigginton attended a 5-hour civic event at the Père Marquette Hotel and decided to take a nap when he got to his car. And Illinois Central College is holding a welcome reception tomorrow night for new president Jamonica Roll. Greater Peoria community members, business leaders, and ICC alumni are invited to greet Roll starting at 4:30 in the Student Center on the Peoria campus. Roll is the college's 6th president. She officially started her term July 1st as the successor to Sheila Quirk Bailey. I'm Courtney Conroy.
Hi, Courtney. Thank you very kindly. All the ladies from WCBU and Tyrus, make yourself comfortable. We're taking advantage of these potatoes from Canton. Is it from Canton or in Peoria?
Yep, potatoes in Peoria.
Okay. Well, we're going to chew. You said chew on that.
Chew on this for a
We're
while,
going to
buddy.
chew on these.
Not
it's a
some
lot
seeds
to
or
take.
big league chew. Or
Yeah, you got it. Here's Tyrus Killer.
Alrighty. Thank you, Roger. Let's start with some Peoria sports news. The Peoria Chiefs had 41-47 and came back with a bang, winning 16-3 against the West Michigan Whitecaps affiliate with the Detroit Tigers. They play at 1:05 p.m. today. It is a home series. They have 5 games left. MLB news: the Cubs at 57-44 in second, 6 games out, beating the Tigers yesterday 11-2. They go for the series win tonight at 7:10 p.m. The Cardinals at 51-49 in fourth, 11.5 back, lost last night 5-1 to the Angels. Losing streak stands at 4. They will try not to get swept today at 3:07 p.m. White Sox at 53-47, tied for first. Got shut out last night, losing to the Rangers 10-2 or 10-0. Sheesh. The Yankees 56-44 in second. 2 games back. They play the Pirates today at 12:05, going for the series win. The Phillies at 56-44 in second, 3 games out. First, they lost to the Dodgers last night, 2-1, and will go for the series win today at 5:40 p.m. In the NHL, the Chicago Blackhawks, Connor Bedard has signed an extension worth $75 million over 5 years, $15 million AAV, which is average annual value. According to Hall of Famer Chris Chelios, revealed that free agent Patrick Kane is currently deciding between returning to the Blackhawks or signing with the Buffalo Sabres, which is his hometown.
Well, we hope that. Well, what do we care about his hometown?
Yeah, we would welcome
him. We would welcome him. In
Oh yeah,
Chicago.
we'd welcome back
You bet.
Patrick Kane. But if he wants to go home and finish out his career there, I mean,
I think he should come down.
That's fine
here
with
to
him.
Riverman.
Yeah. You play for
Win
the
him a
ribbon.
couple of Presidents
Yeah, that's
Cups.
right.
Oh yeah,
If
they
he goes back
definitely
to
win.
Buffalo, he's going to live in his parents' basement, so
Yeah.
that wouldn't be a good deal.
That's true.
I
got
want
a
to ask
big
his
house.
parents about that. They might say, "Come on home, son."
They might.
Money.
That's
All
always-
his family,
it's always
friends over there.
possible, Yeah.
Yeah. And then WNBA news: the Indiana Fever are 16-10 and play tonight at 7 p.m. versus the Connecticut Sun. The Chicago Sky at 9 and 17 play today at 6 p.m. versus New York Liberty. And then the World Cup. We'll just recap that. Spain beats Argentina 1-0 in extra time. Did you watch any of that game?
A little bit, yes.
A little bit. Yeah. It's a good game.
I'm not a big soccer fan. I know you are, John. You
I like
probably
soccer,
were.
yeah. Well, I grew
Well,
up.
I like soccer too, but I'm not a big fan of it.
Some people just don't even like it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have children that play it,
Yeah.
you get
You
very
like-
involved
you-
in it.
you like it.
And once you learn the rules, it's actually kind of fun to watch. But
Well,
I love to watch.
I haven't learned the rules. I really don't understand the rules.
Well,
Well, the offside is kind of like hockey, in a sense.
it's a good combination
A
of
little
lot of
bit.
sports.
Yeah.
It
So, but yeah, no, I played soccer. Also,
Well, good for you.
I did all the sports. But yeah, I like soccer.
Well, enjoyed watching a little bits and pieces that I did, but that's a long game. 2 hours. Two
That is,
hours is a lot of time
it's
to
a-
just run.
Yeah, it's kind of like.
Oh yeah,
And
I
not
mean-
just run.
the game-winning goal
Slow.
was scored in.
That's right.
It's kind of like the Kaopectic Festival.
Oh, yeah?
Run.
Well, this just in, Roger.
Yes. what's
Well,
this,
you might get the runs from the from the
Yeah, it
go.
fair.
Yeah.
Well, just in.
This
You have
just
to-
in, 2 men stole a calendar last week. Apparently, they each got 6 months.
You like that, John?
I love that.
I like John. See, he plays along with me. Thank you, Terry.
You know, there are people
There
who,
are
when you, yeah,
people.
you know, the first time I think I heard the song "People Who Love People." No, it was at Disneyland in Anaheim. Wasn't "People Who Love People"? What's the other
think of it.
jingle that they play
It's
at
a small
Disney?
world as you
Small
go through
World,
there.
after that was it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Small World. And Disneyland was nothing, I'm told, because I haven't been to Disney World. Disney World is such an upgrade over Disney land in Anaheim that makes it looks like a carnival at the Logan County Fair.
I wouldn't say that. It's just that Anaheim, where Disneyland is, was already kind of landlocked, so we had a limited amount of space.
Well,
Where-
that's why they had Space Mountain.
Yes, it went up instead of out. But
What are we talking about?
Disney World versus
great question.
versus Disneyland. When he started buying up the swamp down there in Florida, he saw the great potential, and so he had vast acres that he could make his. I mean, my goodness.
Well, yeah,
They
they
had-
had the villages, the jungle, where you could stay overnight or weekend
Oh,
or
they've
whatever.
got several
They've
hotels
got-
down there.
yeah.
They've got Waterworld.
been
They got
to
the
that one.
safari thing.
Yeah.
They've
Down in
got
Florida, about like 3
Epcot.
times.
It was just.
Been there.
So here's a little factoid for you, coming from a Florida resident. Walt Disney originally purchased rights to a bunch of acres, 1,000 acres near Destin, Florida, which is real close to me, in the Panhandle. And he was going to build Disney there. And the governor of Florida at the time caught wind of what he was doing, and he was like, look, you're going to be on the Gulf there, you're going to be close to Alabama, a lot of storms. We'll make you a deal down here, twice as much acreage for half the price, and ended up buying all that stuff where Disney is now. If he'd have built in Destin, we'd be living in Orlando, for one thing, because you don't want to be where all the tourists are. But it would have dramatically changed from the California experience because it's right there on the beach. So he had rights to all that stuff that is now Destin proper, and Elgin Air Force Base would have been Disney World. And so you would have had you would have Gulf front condos, and then everything of the Disney experience going up to right outside half an hour from the border of Alabama, coming all the way towards Panama City, and it would have dramatically changed that part of the state, because obviously it's the biggest tourist trap in North America. So,
Hey, speaking of tourist trap, share with us what's going on in Irving, Texas, with Caterpillar. They just bought this whatever
Zales.
number of square feet and so forth. That apparently is an expansion of its world headquarters.
it is, and I don't understand why they bought it, because the building that Caterpillar bought originally for their headquarters, right next to it, they had rights on it's a 20-story tower, glass and brass, just like you'd see in downtown Chicago. And I thought they would expand into that because they own it or have rights to it. But I guess it's the parking that they were after, because people that move out there, the biggest problem with Dallas is it's growing so fast that if you don't have on-site parking for 4,000 people,
you're up a creek without a car.
yeah, because and nobody gets to work remote anymore. So before it didn't matter for the last 10 years or 5 years, but now you need it. And this Zales building gives them, I don't know, would they say 400,000 square feet
400,000,
parking
yeah.
deck? So I think they bought it for the parking, and it's within a half hour of the business. So it'd be like Morton to Peoria from the headquarters in Irving there. But they have a huge building now. When last time I was out there, they only had a couple hundred people in it, but they can fit several thousand in that building. They've got rights to the tower next to it. But they're doing. Keep in mind, had we not had a change of CEO at the time we did, we would be looking at a $2 billion investment on Peoria's riverfront of Caterpillar's world headquarters.
Wow.
One person made that decision. And as Oberhauman would say today, if he could have got one shovel in the ground, that would have been built. And so essentially all that is going to the new headquarters.
Texas, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really a shame, because Caterpillar has been, for many, many, many years, the economic lifeblood of the community. And, if my memory serves me, at one time, there were 35,000 people in this area employed by Caterpillar.
Yeah, I mean, at one time, East Peoria plant had almost 20,000 UAW workers.
Yeah.
So, and there's still, 10,000 CAT employees in the Tri-County area, but it's not probably going to grow.
What has grown is the stock, as you know so well about it. And I have a hard time understanding the ups and downs of Caterpillar stock prices. I think if I had it figured out, I would be a millionaire. But it is amazing. It got to over $1,000 a share. Now it's at the 800 level, 890, 889, or so forth. What influences the rise and fall of Caterpillar stock?
Well, a lot of it, I think, today is electronic trading. So people build these algorithms. You see CAT stock today fluctuates $40, $50, $60 a day. And so when people see it moving, they build an algorithm and they electronically sell and buy. I think somebody said like 75% of all trades are electronic now, computer generated, which is why the market is so in flux. But to see a swing of CAT stock of 10 or 14% a day used to be unheard of. Now it's every day. But there's guys here in Peoria I know that buy and sell CAT stock daily, multiple times a day, because they see it moving. And if you're moving 4,000 or 5,000 shares and you get a swing of 10 or 20 bucks, pretty good income on a daily basis.
You don't have to go to work. I remember, but I don't remember where, and I'm sure, John, you can tell me, or John Meisinger or Terry. There was a place in downtown Peoria that I would go in, and there would be people sitting in easy chairs, and the stock market ticker tape was going across the wall of the building. Where was that? Was that in
Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, right down on Adams Street. One of my original brokers was there, had the headphone and the microphone and all the
Right.
And it then owned by Sears, right?
Oh, I don't remember where it was, but I
That's
remember
why
what you're seeing, but I don't remember. Was that
It
what
was fascinating to me. Of course, I didn't have a dollar to invest. I just thought it was neat, and I thought, look at those old guys sitting there watching the market change, and either happy or sad.
I think Dean Witter was part of Sears at one time. and then Morgan Stanley bought them. But one of my early brokers worked in there, and I remember the first time I sold cat stock, and I swore I'd never do it again, because as soon as I sold it, went up.
Of course,
it went up $2, which was a big deal. Back then.
Yeah, and the other thing too that has changed, Caterpillar had a history of splitting shares.
Right.
When it got around $100, $90 to $100, and then it stopped doing it, and I don't know why they stopped doing it, but now it's unbelievable. And I remember a time when John Deere totally economically beat Caterpillar. It's just the opposite now.
Yeah, it was crazy. John Deere was the darling of the Dow for a long time, and it always baffled me. Cat was always at least twice the size of Deere in terms of both raw dollar sales, employees, factories, that kind of stuff. And John Deere's market cap, the number of shares outstanding times the share price, was twice Caterpillar. I'm like, this just doesn't make sense. We're twice the size of Deere. Well, now that's completely reserved. Cat's market cap is like 400 billion, and Deere's 175 or something.
And John Deere is struggling, I understand.
Well, I don't know if they're struggling, but their stock,
go ahead and say it.
Their stock is not
what it used to be.
Yeah, which eventually the market's going to catch up to it. But it's a fine company. It's a Deere's. Don't get me wrong. It's a great company. It's very strongly managed.
They're strong in agriculture.
They are. They rely a little bit too much on the farm bill and government handouts and forcing farmers to buy tractors they can't afford. But other than that, people do that.
Other than that, it's a great company for that matter. I get the impression that Caterpillar is increasing its interest in generators. Am I right on that?
Oh, they always have been a very large producer of...
Normally you think of bulldozers and earth-moving equipment, but they're big in generators.
They are, and it's because of the durability of their diesel engines, which is, it's why Laterno came to Peoria. They put Caterpillar diesel engines in Laterno trucks. It's now Komatsu. But Cat diesel engines are bulletproof, and they put a generator on the back, and you have distributed generation. Back in the early days of distributed generation, we could pull a barge up to an island, whoever got hit by a hurricane, and they dropped these 600-volt cables to the island. We power the entire island.
Wow.
Most cruise ships have 2 Caterpillar engines on it, one for propulsion, one for power generation, right? Because you got to have lights, you got to have septic on the ship. And there's some other companies. Wärtsilä makes big engines. Cummins makes a big engine now. John Deere only makes 3 sizes of engines, so they do some generators, but not the size of Caterpillar.
What kind of engine do you have in your truck? Is it a Caterpillar one?
No, it's actually a Ford diesel. The reason I bought a Ford diesel instead of a Dodge diesel was Dodge has a Cummins engine in it, and I couldn't pull into a Caterpillar parking lot with a Cummins engine in my truck. But
your heart just wasn't in it, was it? Yeah.
And Caterpillar remanufactures the old Navistar Ford engines.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And so keep this in mind. This Caterpillar has not sold an on-highway diesel engine. At one time, until 2010, Caterpillar had about 35% of the diesel truck market. So 1 in every 3 semi-trucks on the interstate had a Caterpillar diesel engine in it. We've not sold a new diesel engine on highway since 2010, and we still remanufacture about 1,000 a week.
Wow.
Those guys love that engine so bad. Now, this is before all the EPA guidelines came in. So there are some rules that allow you to remanufacture the older engines. But it's now been 15, 16 years since we manufactured a new one, and we still do 1,000 reman engines a week of the 2010 and prior engines. That's how much people want those engines.
There's a reason.
There's a reason.
There's a reason for the season, and Caterpillar. Here's a question for you before we go into the news and weather at the bottom of the hour. The RG Laterno made turnipoles and heavy earth-moving equipment. What else were they known for in Peoria?
They made that temporary housing, or
homes.
permanent housing, steel homes.
Steel homes.
Very good for a guy from Caterpillar. I didn't think you would know that. There is a house.
You don't know anything other than Cat.
There's a house on Glen Avenue in Peoria Heights that when I drive by, that's a steel house.
And there's one out at Wheels of
Yeah, they
Time.
put
Wheels
one
of
out at
Time.
Wheels
Is
of
there
Time.
one at
Yep.
Wheels of Time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell Jim Baldwin I said hi when you go out there.
Yeah. It's, I haven't been out there. I have a good friend.
You do?
Yes,
nice.
which is unusual. And she's big on.
She's big.
I'm
Roger.
glad you
Roger.
said on afterwards because
How big is she? She is so big.
I was going to say her name.
Sister-in-law.
If you think I'm going to say her name after that,
now.
I got news. I wanted to tell you about a former friend that works at the Wheels of Time and may not anymore work anywhere for that matter. All right, let's get into the news at the bottom of the hour. Brought to you by Bob Manning, Senior Vice President, Financial Advisor with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley. For investment needs, Bob's available at 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. And Terry and John have our headlines.
The increase in the use of electric bicycles by young people was illustrated yesterday when a 5-year-old boy on one of those e-bikes was hit by a car in the 1600 block of North Great Oak Road near the Pearson Hills apartment complex. That's a few blocks west of Sterling Avenue. Troy police say the 16-year-old driver left the scene without attending to the child. The teenager was located and arrested later by officers, while the boy went to the hospital with minor injuries.
Like an old soapbox TV series on CBS, that empty 20-story high-rise business building at Jefferson and Hamilton is in the local media almost daily. Originally known as the First Federal Savings and Loan Association Tower, the structure is now named Riverview Plaza. Years ago, it was filled to capacity and included the studios of WIRL Radio.
Today, things have changed. The city has been after MJ Illinois, owners of the structure, to make life and safety repairs. City attorneys were in court seeking payment of fines levied for fire code violations 2 years ago. The court continued the case for 60 days. The building remains pretty much empty.
Since Caterpillar's headquarters left Peoria, its stock has soared in value and the company has expanded, especially with the purchase of over 400,000 square feet of office space in Irving, Texas. Caterpillar will spend $36 million to renovate the building that will be next to a planned 424,000 square foot parking garage.
President Trump is promising more bombing and more airstrikes against Iran, while also weathering attacks in Congress from some Democrats who want to pack up and leave the Middle East. The White House said that's what happened under President Biden in Afghanistan, leaving behind billions of dollars of military hardware now used by the enemies of Israel. During that retreat, a total of 13 U.S. service members were killed and 45 wounded at Abbey Gate.
War Secretary Pete Hegseth revealed the war in Iran has cost an estimated $37 billion. Spending so far related to the war in Ukraine is estimated at roughly $195 billion. About $127 billion supporting Ukraine with military, financial, and humanitarian aid.
Now here's a hot topic to chew on this morning. The Internal Revenue Service is planning to tax members of Spain's World Cup soccer champion team up to 30%. Some Democrats and Republicans think that's wrong to tax the $50 million the team won. Defenders say Americans have to do it. Our professional athletes have to pay it. And when Spain came to the United States to compete, they knew it. If they didn't, they do now. Some lawmakers say the tax would make it difficult to attract other worldwide events. What say you? And those are the headlines,
All
Roger.
right, and now check the weather brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing compassionate and dignified final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can reach them at 309-713-1898. Information also available at peoriapetcrematory.com. Now the weather.
Sunny and high today, about 77 degrees. A little bit of breeze. Tonight's low, 57. Tomorrow, continued sunny with a pleasant drop in temperature. High of only 78 degrees. Tomorrow night, low of 59 under cloudy skies. Friday, sunny and 77. Saturday, 86. Sunday, 93. Monday, 92. Sounds like a golf score here, John. And it is currently 67 degrees. We're not at the Riverfront Plaza, but we're here at Rogers Studio in North Peoria.
You got it. And a little reminder, the visitation for Phil Salzer's wife, Nancy Salzer, this morning, 9:30 to 11 o'clock at Fulton Davidson Funeral Services on North University. Obviously, our condolences to our dear friend, Phil. Phil has been a part of our program up until maybe a year ago, something like that. We had Ed Dwyer doing sports, and Phil, I think, was on Tuesday. Ed did. And you know, Ed did something interesting. Every Tuesday morning when he came in, he brought bananas for me and Royce. And so ever since then, people said the show went bananas.
Yes,
but and I guess Ed wanted to make sure we had what, potassium? Is
Right,
that what bananas, or as my one of my sons used to call them, bianas. And every Tuesday, he brought in a bunch. Pardon the expression.
He wanted you to eat healthy,
Yes.
as opposed to what we bring in.
Yeah. Which is
Donuts and
They taste
sweet
good.
treats.
Yeah, but not the healthiest. Well, no, the potato ones, they're better for you than the
Regular.
regular
those
ones.
are absolutely delicious.
Yes.
Oh, they're good
What
too.
are they made of?
Well,
Is this the man who disabled a police vehicle with a banana in the tailpipe?
Was that a regular, not a regular, but a sometime event? Put a banana in a tailpipe?
That was a line from
A movie?
Beverly Hills
Beverly
Cop.
Hills Cop.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Is that right? Yeah. Starring
Starring Edward Murphy,
Yes.
Eddie Murphy.
G. Edward Murphy, also known as a divorce attorney here in town.
That's right. That's what I thought.
Hey, Roger, you know what I learned when I was reading Phil Salzer's wife's obituary? She was a Packer fan.
Yeah, I vaguely remember him mentioning that.
And maybe that's why Phil and I got along so well.
Yeah.
Not only was he a great, history instructor at Peoria High School, but he knew that his wife and I were both big Packer fans.
You know, I want you to explain to me why and how people like you, Mr. Disharoon,
People like
live in this area, which is close to Chicago and where the Bears were and where the Cardinals were at one time, the Chicago Cardinals many years ago in the NFL.
Yep.
Wind up rooting for a team that's way up by the North Pole.
So I'll tell you, when I was growing up, I'm born in Rapid City, South Dakota, right, where there's no professional sports, just Mount Rushmore and Ellsworth Air Force Base, essentially. My earliest memory of football was watching the Packers because they played national championships in the late '60s, right? The first Super Bowl before the Super Bowls.
Yep.
And I like the big G. I like Bart Starr. I like the fact that he had 2 R's at the end of his name. And so we moved to Peoria. My brother, who was very athletic, I was never athletic. My brother was a St. Louis Cardinals fan because St. Louis used to have the Cardinal football team.
There you go.
And the Bears always were bad. And then the Steelers and the Dolphins got really, really good in the 70s. And so he kind of went with the Steelers and the Dolphins, and I just kind of hung on to Green Bay. Mm-hmm. When I was 10 years old, I was at, and this is probably more than you want to know, but I was at Mayo Clinic, just gone through open heart surgery for the second time. And
10 years old?
10 years old. Two cracked ribs by the time I was 10. 2 cracked chests, I should say. And my roommate was from Rochester, Minnesota.
Oh, interesting.
And his dad was the equipment manager for the Green Bay Packers.
Oh,
And
wow.
we didn't have private rooms then back in the early 70s, and so there was a curtain that separated the 2 beds. And my mom and dad came in faithfully every morning with their cup of coffee. And I heard my dad talking to somebody, and I'm like, I'm over here, I'm on the other side of the curtain. And he came over and he goes, "You'll never guess who's next door. You want to have a guess this morning?" I said, "Sure." And he pulls the curtain back, and Bart Starr.
Are you kidding
was
me?
there.
Cool with that.
Wow.
And
Holy
and I'm
cow.
like, what? I mean, a 10-year-old kid, right? Bart
Yeah.
Starr. And he sat on the edge of the bed and he talked to me and he said, "Your father told me you're a Packers fan. Can I say a prayer with you?"
Bart started.
And I said, absolutely. We had a little prayer. He left. I'm in the hospital for like 10 days because it wasn't in and out back in those days. We get back, and I've got sitting on the kitchen table a big legal-size manila envelope with a Green Bay Packer return address on it. I open it up. It's an autographed picture of Bart Starr with a Super Bowl ring holding a football. To John, best wishes. Heal fast, Bart Starr.
Holy cow! Well, pardon, that's a
It's a
baseball.
pretty doggone
So-
good reason to be a fan.
So how do you ever
Yeah.
top that?
You almost made me a Packer fan with that emotional story.
So
that is unbelievable.
So until I was, in my mid-40s, that was the only piece of sports memorabilia I had, was just this autographed picture, which I still have to this day. It's framed.
Yeah.
Right.
Many, many moons later, I'm out at a ConExpo show in Las Vegas, and there's this equipment memorabilia shop, and there's a helmet signed by Bart Starr, MVP Super Bowl 1 and 2, and not Aaron Rodgers, who was before him, Brett Favre. MVP, whatever Super Bowls he was. And it was one of two. They'd signed it at a charity auction, and somebody decided to put this up. So I put a bid on it, and the guy's like, man, this is going to go for $30,000. It's one of two. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to pay that much for it. So I put a blind bid on it, and by the time I landed in Peoria, he called and said, send a certified check, I'll mail you the helmet.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I've got one of two helmets autographed, and it's got the hologram and everything on it. It's authentic, certificate of authenticity, signed by Bart Starr, MVP Super Bowl 1 and 2, and Brett Favre, MVP
That's really cool.
98, 99, whatever the years where he was. And that started my collection of sports memorabilia, two Bart
and
Starr
that's
things.
something. You've heard of Wheels of Time Museum? He has the helmets of time. Fortune.
And after Aaron Rodgers had one, I debated, and my brother talked me out of it. I'm like, I'm a season ticket holder to Green Bay. I'm going to go get Aaron Rodgers to sign this so I've got the three. And he's like, dude, you got one of two. Don't mess with it.
Yeah.
Just, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll never get rid of it, but my son someday will, call up
Yeah.
sports auctions and say, hey, I got this helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all want
First
one.
of all,
I tell you though, the story about pulling the curtain back and to see him
Reason to stay loyal
Yeah.
to him.
there is just blows your mind.
First of all, to be a season ticket holder in Green Bay is something special as well, is it not?
It is. Now, to be honest with you, I'm like 19,000 on the permanent list, but me and three other guys go in and get season tickets every year. I gave them up when we moved to Florida, but I can still go to any game I want because my buddies have them. And so they'd been in his family forever. When his dad passed, he's like, look, we're not going to get rid of these tickets, but I can't go to all the games. They're in Green Bay. It's tough to get to. And so three of us went in. We buy the tickets every year. Then we draw names on who does it. And there was a waiting list of like 5 people that wanted it. So when I gave up my share, I said, I'll still go to a couple games. I just don't want to do the full thing because I can't get there from
Oh, yeah.
Santa Rosa Beach to Green Bay. It's hard enough from Peoria. But Peoria, if the weather's bad, at least you can hop in your truck and drive. Can't do that from Florida.
No.
And so another guy took over my share of the tickets, but I just call and, if I know Jack's got the weekend or they're playing in Dallas, we'll trade tickets and I'll go to a Dallas Green Bay game and somebody will go up to the Dallas at Green Bay game.
Yeah.
But yeah,
My buddy just said
There's
that.
a long waiting list.
I'm 19,000. I've been on it since 79.
There you go.
Wow.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
So,
that's a loyalty. You're a Green Bay Packer fan too.
for
aren't you?
very same reasons other than I wasn't in the hospital with Bart Starr.
Yeah.
But I did watch
But you
Green
stayed
Bay
all
win the
night
first
at the
two
Holiday Inn.
championship games. And
The
that
Ice
was a
Bowl.
Big deal. The Ice Bowl.
Yeah.
In black and white.
Yeah.
Beautiful black and white. And,
And you couldn't even tell where the football
I
was.
had no idea.
Yeah.
And, well, the screens weren't big enough, first of all. They were little bitty screens.
And they weren't high def.
No,
You weren't
no,
sure if
yeah.
it was a fly or a football going across the
Watching
screen.
the pinball.
Yeah. You know what is heartwarming about the story you told? What year was it?
1975.
Yeah. Things have changed. I remember when the Cub and Cardinal Caravan would come to Peoria. They don't do it anymore. Why? The players don't want to do it. And as a result, they're few and far between. And I think a small contingent comes once in a while from St. Louis. But the Cub organization is almost anti-fan for that matter. But they used to back in the 70s, because I worked at Methodist when the Cardinal Caravan would come to the hospital.
And they go see the kids.
And they would see the kids and adults in the cancer unit and so forth. And they were absolutely wonderful. Ozzie Smith was one of those that always made it a point to come.
He's awesome.
They don't do it anymore. The players just don't.
I think
Is
the
that true?
Cardinals still do it. I think.
No, not like it used to. What they bring a smaller group and players who are not well known.
Like the guy at the end of the parade.
Yeah.
What? And give up
Yeah.
show
Your
business?
show business?
So
Keeping up the.
That's good, John. You know, that's kind of like the old joke about the guy that being given a tour of the prison, and every now and then a guy would shout out 755, and all the prisoners would laugh. Another guy would yell 122, and they would laugh. And the guy turned to the warden and said, "What's this all about?" And he said, "Well, these guys have told the same joke over and over and again. Now they just call the number of the joke." And he said, "Can I try it?" He said, "Sure, go ahead, call out a number." And he said, 85, and nobody laughed. He said, "What happened?" What? Nobody laughed. And he said, "Well, some people can tell jokes, some people can't."
Never heard that one, Roger. That's good.
That's one of the archives of Royce Elliott's humor, for that matter. Well, it is a fascinating story, and to think that you literally were, and what's hard for me to put my arms around is that you were in 10 years old in pediatric unit. You didn't think that, but then he was there visiting another patient.
And at the time, I think he had just been named coach or just been fired as coach. I don't remember in 75 where he was. But the fact that his equipment manager's son had open heart surgery and he went to see him in the hospital. I mean, how many CEOs do that?
Yeah.
But that just shows you what type of a person Bart Starr was.
Yeah, he was a class act.
Exactly.
No question. It's absolutely amazing.
Kind of wonder how many quarterbacks Chicago
take
has
the
had
time to
by
do that.
comparison to Green Bay.
Oh, I've got a great graphic that shows Green Bay having 3 quarterbacks and Chicago has 33.
Something like that. I think I saw that same
I might
graphic.
have
and I
sent
can't
that to
read
you.
it. And
See if I can dig that up.
In the past years, you can go ahead.
Well, as usual, go ahead and beat up on the Bear fans.
No, I can't beat up
Yeah.
on Bears. I thought they were going to win the Super Bowl last year, and they let me down.
I mean, I watched the Bears when the Packers on.
Could have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they beat the Packers.
Yeah,
if
that
I'm
was
not
quite a
mistaken,
game.
once,
Could have had
yeah.
the Rams.
What do we have for a temperature? We will tell you.
67 degrees.
67, a high today of 77. We'll be right back. You're having breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 and also on YouTube.
The impact of a meal goes
Roger,
well
are you
beyond
still-
feeding our bodies. Because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive. Like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Yeah, we're going to feed the brain right now on this day in history. Well, John left. I can't ask a question when half of the class gets up and leaves. We're talking about July 22nd, and in the background, somebody's having an allergy moment. We're going to go back to the year 1894, but we'll hold that history question until John Meisinger returns. Do you know the history of potatoes by any way?
Spuds?
Yeah,
by
so it used to-
any chance, John?
So it used to be Spud Nuts in Pekin, and they sold, and I don't know if there was a trademark on Spud Nuts or what, and so they went to Tatoes. Spud Nuts are made with potato flour, and Tatoes is a play on potatoes. And so they opened a store in Peoria, and I think they kept the original location in Pekin too. So it's a different type of donut than a regular flour donut.
It's allegedly healthier.
Oh, I don't know about
because
that.
Okay.
I don't know about that. I don't know that healthy.
Well,
and donut
somebody
go
said,
together.
well, it's a potato.
What I like is the fact that the box weighs 4 pounds.
Yeah, I was.
So you're getting
well,
your
you
money's
bought-
worth.
Well, I was going to say you brought enough to feed a football team, for that matter. But I'm not going to be unhappy about that. My first introduction to potatoes, I think, was in Jacksonville, Illinois, and I think it was sold, as you said, as spud nuts. But beyond that, I can't tell you how it wound up in Jacksonville, Illinois.
So that probably was it. It's probably a franchise, and whoever bought it didn't either want to pay the franchise fee or it wasn't offered to them, and so they just did it's the same kind of recipe, I think. but-
Yeah. I'll tell you something else that is growing in this area, and that's Bill's Lemonade. There's apparently franchises that are being sold, and I passed a guy on 155, and he had a vendor vehicle being pulled by his probably Ford diesel engine pickup, and it was Bill's Lemonade. And I know it shows up at certain events. There's a market Saturday, sometimes in Tremont, and there's a young lady there selling Bill's Lemonade. If you go to Alwyn's, you can get a burger or a brat and a delicious sugar-filled Bill's Lemonade.
And Weaver's Food and Drink makes Bill's Lemonade right behind the bar there.
It does.
And they'll even put a little bit of vodka in there if you want.
Spice it up a little bit. Yes.
All right, we have this this day in history, and we wanted to wait till you got back from the ante office. July 22nd, 1894, something took place for the first time in the country of France. What was it?
Oh.
Somebody took a shower.
No, they still don't take showers. You know what we used to call it in the Army is if you dated a girl, sometimes and said, "How was it?" I said, "She took a French shower."
Oh, jeez.
That means
Yeah.
cologne.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfume.
Anyway,
Heavy on cologne.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Okay,
there?
what happened in France in 1894, July 22nd?
Is it like an event?
It was an event.
Was that a good event?
A what?
A
good
good
event?
event.
Yes.
Was it a World's Fair, Roger?
No, it was not a World Fair.
Is
Was
it
it
the
the Fren-
biking?
Oh, the Tour de France.
Tour de
Could be.
France?
No,
Okay.
Was it the French Open?
no,
First time they made French toast.
Oh,
no, that
No?
came earlier.
Okay.
really?
Did it have anything to do with the Eiffel Tower?
No,
The Leaning Tower of Pizza. No, I'm kidding. Pizza.
that was at Avanti's
That's true.
or Agatushi. Well, you said something, who said about the first bicycle race, did you say? It's kind of in that vernacular and
Okay.
that area.
Okay.
I'm struggling here.
Yes, you are, but other than that, you look good.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was a first.
It was a first. Okay.
The first tandem bicycle was built?
No, good morning. But you're getting close, and it was more than 2 wheels.
Oh.
Was it
Oh,
tricycle? No.
more than
More
three
than three
wheels.
wheels.
So,
Was it 4 wheels?
Yes.
car.
What?
A car?
Yes.
First car was.
No.
Oh, okay.
A steam engine powered car?
Well, it involved cars.
Okay.
So what would be the first?
The Duryea? No.
Model T.
A
Well,
race?
You're getting what? What?
A race?
Yes. The first.
In
Car
in
race.
1894.
First vehicular.
The first motor car race
There you go.
in France between automotive manufacturers to test the reliability of combustion engines, something you ought to know about, John Disharoon. How many qualified to race 126 kilometers from Paris to Rouen? To better understand the safety, operation, and the cost of combustion engines compared to other competitors using what?
Electricity.
Steam.
That's what I said.
I got
steam.
a steam engine. Yeah.
Yeah, you said
Okay.
steam.
How many cars qualified?
10.
All right. You're correct. Double digit,
13.
but not enough. How many?
13.
13. Not enough.
25.
Okay. Very good. 21.
All right. 21.
17 of the 21 racing participants made it to the finish line.
Oh, wow.
So,
And the other ones they still haven't
Wait, how many?
found. 17.
17 made it.
That means there's 4 out there somewhere.
how many cylinders did they have?
16.
No. Much too high.
I'm going to say 2.
How many?
2.
2 is correct.
Hey.
2-cylinder V engines that reached an average of how many
Miles per hour.
miles per hour?
A whopping
45.
8 miles per hour.
No, higher.
45.
20,
Too high, too high.
22.
Too high.
22 is too high?
Yes.
15.
15 is too low.
Oh, 18.
17.
Oh,
17.
Wow.
I wonder what those sounded like.
They're moving.
Think they had
Well,
any
if they had to change the plugs.
Hey, those
plugs with
Those e-bikes.
So you got it right. 1894,
Okay.
the first
I did
motor
not
car
realize
race
they had them that
takes
early.
place in France. Would you have any idea of the name of the companies?
Oh.
One started with a P,
Pepe Le Pew. No,
Yeah.
that was
then an E, and then a U.
Peugeot.
What?
Peugeot.
Yeah, we.
boy.
How do you pronounce it?
Peugeot.
Peugeot. And Panhard and Levassor. Levassor?
Levasseur. Levasseur.
Well, you did good.
Up.
Well done.
We did well.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, when did we start saying, how are you? I am well. Instead, I'm good. Now people respond and say, I'm well. How about you?
I don't know when we started that.
It was
But-
shortly after water became
Something
domesticated.
Everybody else was,
English
I'll
teachers
buy
start cracking
into
down
that.
on it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, my mom was an English teacher, so I didn't get
How's
much
it going?
past
I'm
vocabulary.
okay.
So let's do a little more bear bashing here. Mr. Meisinger raised the idea of how many quarterbacks the Bears had versus the Packers. So if we
Yeah.
just look at the NFC North, right, which is really where all the
Which is
football
the
teams
most-
are. Since 1992, quarterbacks that played at least 10 games, and this makes the Bears look better. Quarterbacks that have played at least 10 games, the Bears have had 17, the Packers have had 3. If you go back and say how many played at least 3 games, right, because the Bears, playing 5 games for the Bears is kind of hard to do. The Bears jumped to 39,
Oh, yeah.
and the
Oh,
Packers
my
stay at
goodness,
3.
Yeah.
Stay at
Yeah.
Vikings
Well-
18, Lions 15. So anybody that says a quarterback doesn't make a difference,
Oh, it sure
I mean,
does.
the Packers know how to grow
Yeah.
quarterbacks.
Yeah,
they
they
figured
do.
it out somehow.
This is from 92. Now, if you go back to 85, the year the Bears won the Super Bowl, it goes from like 39 to 45, because after that Super Bowl, they went through a quarterback like every other
Well,
month.
yeah.
I mean,
True.
everybody that could throw it, because they just couldn't, they were trying to put it together.
Right. Well, I think that's what they continue to
Well, I remember a certain game where a certain quarterback got hurt. It was Jim McMahon in a Packer game.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah, but you know,
late hit.
he never did make
injured his
he-
shoulder.
Yeah, but he never did make any.
No, he wasn't
really
that great, but,
greatness. I mean, you tell me, the only quarterback I remember that was great for the Bears was Sid Luckman.
Yeah. Still holds the
Yeah, you probably
touchdown
don't even
passing
remember him.
record.
He was an all-time.
Were they playing in Decatur at the time?
Yeah, very good. They were playing. What were they originally named?
The Staleys.
Staley Bears, because that was the name of the company.
Decatur.
I remember when we would go to Sullivan on 121, we went over a little bridge, and on the right side of the bridge was the Staley company. And what they make? An oil, cooking oil? Was that it?
It was like ADM. It was squeezings from agriculture.
It was like shortening, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Like Crisco, I mean, picture the...
Shortbread.
No.
Like Ma Tucker?
I thought it was-
Jacksonville, Illinois had Ma Tucker.
That was a solid
Roger,
shortening.
this is a family show.
Yes, and I intend to keep it that way, for that matter. All right, we're going to talk to actress, musician, and producer annhagaman, Peoria young lady, at 8:15, following our 8 o'clock news block. You're having breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois, and also, happily we can say, thanks to our good friend Scott for putting things together. We were off the air yesterday, but I think we're doing quite well this morning. Stay tuned. We have more coming your way in beautiful Peoria and Central Illinois. Pleasant good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday morning, and let's start with a check of the weather brought to you by Kyle Varnold, Mr. Weather, providing personal and business insurance for auto, home, life, and health. You know, Kyle works with a number of different carriers, companies, to find the right policy at the right price, and you can discuss your insurance coverage and needs with Kyle at 309-682-0519. That's 682-0519. Now with the weather, here's Johndisharoon.
Good morning, Roger and Friends. This is my imitation of Kyle Varnold.
Yeah, that was very good, ladies and gentlemen.
We've got what we call cumulus clouds coming in from the east, and that's a phenomenon that happens when there's a high density of...
Yes, it is.
That was very good, John. You win an Emmy for that performance.
Sunny and high today, 77. Breezy. Tonight's low about 57. Tomorrow, sunny with a pleasant drop in temperature, high around 78. Tomorrow night's low gets down to 59 under cloudy skies. Friday, sunny and 77. Saturday gets warmer, 86. 93 on Sunday, 92 on Monday. Right now it's 67 degrees in Peoria.
You know, interesting, we had in our neighborhood a guy who overtrained almost daily, did a lot of drinking, and he was called Breezy. I have no idea why. He lived on a shack right next to the railroad tracks near Alexander's Steakhouse, as a matter of fact. Hey, you know, with the weather changing and getting very delightful, it's a good time to start your search for perhaps something you and the wife and the family wanted to do, and that is start searching for another place to live, their next dream home. And Kathy Reynolds, the Home Smart, she's available, ready to help you in that search. You can reach Kathy today at 309-696-2162. That's 696-2162. Now the news with Terry and John.
Well, the increase in the use of electric bicycles by young people was illustrated yesterday when a 5-year-old boy on one of those bikes was hit by a car in the 1600 block of North Great Oak Road near the Pearson Hills apartment complex, a few blocks west of Sterling Avenue. Peoria police say the 16-year-old driver left the scene without attending to the child. The teenager was located and arrested later by officers, while the boy went to the hospital with only minor injuries.
You know, Terry, electric bikes and scooters have surged in popularity.
I have heard that.
That's right. It's estimated that more than 300 million e-bikes and more than 100 million e-scooters are in use globally. The use among teens 12 to 17 quadrupled over the past 5 years, sparking major safety and health concerns. Experts like Roger Monroe say that they're dangerous for children and teens who lack the situational awareness and dexterity to safely operate them.
You're right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's not unusual to see young passengers on the bikes and scooters too, Terry.
That requires a lot of balance.
Which I don't have.
Me neither anymore. Like an old soapbox TV series on CBS, that empty 20-story high-rise business building at Jefferson and Hamilton is in the local media almost daily. Originally known as the First Federal Savings and Loan Association Tower, the structure is now named Riverview Plaza. Years ago, it was filled to capacity and included the studios of WIRL Radio and even had a fine restaurant called Top of the 20th close to the rooftop.
Hey, different story today, though. The city has been after MJ Illinois, owner of the structure, to make life and safety repairs. City attorneys were in court this week seeking payments of fines levied for fire code violations 2 years ago. The court continued the case for 60 days. The building remains empty, at least we think it is.
Since Caterpillar's headquarters left Peoria, its stock has soared in value, and the company has expanded, especially with the purchase of over 400,000 square feet of office space in Irving, Texas. The 15-acre site once was the headquarters of Zales Jewelry Corporation, founded in 1924. Caterpillar will spend $36 million to renovate the building that will be next to a planned 424,000 square foot parking garage. And about that cat stock, it closed yesterday at just a tad under $890 a share.
President Trump is promising more bombing and more airstrikes against Iran, also while weathering attacks in Congress from some Democrats who want to pack and leave the Middle East. The White House said that what happens under the President Biden in Afghanistan, leaving behind billions of dollars worth of military hardware, now used by the enemies of Israel. I almost said the enemies of Illinois, didn't I? That would have been bad. During a retreat, a total of 13 U.S. service members were killed and 45 wounded at what's called Abbey Gate.
War Secretary Pete Hegseth revealed the war in Iran has cost an estimated $37 billion. Spending so far related to the war in Ukraine estimated at roughly $195 billion, with about $127 billion supporting Ukraine with military, financial, and humanitarian aid. In late 2024, the United States provided the Ukrainian government with a $20 billion loan.
And we're worried about the money we're spending to Iran to end terrorism in the world, and we seem to be the world's bank.
We are the world's bank and the world's police department.
Yeah.
We got it all going here. Well, here's a hot topic to chew on this morning. The Internal Revenue Service is planning to tax members of Spain's World Cup soccer champion team up to 30%. Some Democrats and Republicans think that's wrong to tax the $50 million team, that $50 million that the team won. Defenders say Americans have to do it. Our professional athletes have to pay it. So when Spain came to the United States to compete, they knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, they knew it. They knew it.
They knew it. What the hell are we even worried about?
That's
here?
right.
That's right. Well, if they didn't, they do now. Some lawmakers say the tax will make it difficult to attract other world events. What do you have to say about it, Rod?
Buenos dias.
I speak no English.
No comprende.
No habla inglés.
And that's, we're going back to you,
$50 million?
Raja.
50? You owe me $50 million?
50 million?
And 100 in pesos. Exactly right. Now more news from WCBU.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm Courtney Conroy. A Washington business owner is getting reimbursed more than $103,000 by the city. The payment approved by the Washington City Council is for damages done to Marlene Miller's building during construction of the Tangled Roots restaurant on the downtown square. Fellow downtown square building owner Tom Gross spoke in support of reimbursing Miller.
As the work went on, I was surprised to see the city administration in place at that time were comfortable ignoring the surrounding property owners' requests for assistance.
Under the agreement, the city admits no liability or wrongdoing. The incumbents running for re-election in 2 central Illinois U.S. House districts both have commanding fundraising advantages against their challengers. WCBU's Ryan Denham reports.
According to reports filed with the Federal Election Commission, Democratic Congressman Eric Sorensen's campaign has over $1.3 million in the bank as of the end of June, the end of the second quarter filing period. Sorensen has 23 times more money than his Republican challenger, Dylan Vansel. Republican Darren LaHood has $6.75 million in the bank. Democratic challenger Paul Nolly's campaign has about $230,000. I'm Ryan Denham.
Peoria Heights Mayor Matt Wigginton has been found not guilty of misdemeanor charges of driving under the influence. A Peoria County jury returned its verdict in the one-day trial Monday. Wigginton declined comment. The 42-year-old mayor was arrested in April after police found him slumped over the wheel of his vehicle in a downtown Peoria parking deck. Police body camera footage showed the vehicle was not running. Wigginton's speech was slurred as he spoke with officers. Defense attorney Kevin Sullivan previously said Wigginton attended a 5-hour civic event at the Pere Marquette Hotel and decided to take a nap when he got to his car. And Illinois Central College is holding a welcome reception tomorrow night for new president Jamonica Roll. Greater Peoria community members, business leaders, and ICC alumni are invited to greet Roll starting at 4:30 in the Student Center on the Peoria campus. Roll is the college's 6th president. She officially started her term July 1st as the successor to Sheila Quirk Bailey. I'm Courtney Conroy.
All right, it's time for sports, and our Wednesday morning sports guy, eager to give you the latest. Of course, we're talking about Tyrus Kileon, the Princeville Prince.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Let's start with some Peoria sports news. The Peoria Chiefs at 41-47 and came back with a bang, winning 16-3 against the West Michigan Whitecaps affiliate with the Detroit Tigers. They play at 1:05 p.m. today, and it is a home series, and they have 5 games left because they're doing their 6-game series that they usually do. MLB news: the Cubs at 57-44 in second, 6 games out of first, beating the Tigers yesterday 11-2. They go for the series win tonight at 7:10 p.m. The Cardinals at 51-49, dropping back to 4th, 11.5 games back. Lost last night 5-1 to the Angels. Losing streak stands at 4. They will try not to get swept today at 3:07 p.m. White Sox at 5-3. Or 53-47, tied for first. Got shut out last night, losing to the Rangers 10-0. The Yankees at 56-44 in second, 2 games back. They play the Pirates today at 12:05, going for the series win. The Phillies at 56-44 in second, 3 games out of first. Lost to the Dodgers last night 2-1, and will go for the series win today at 5:40 p.m. In the NHL, the Chicago Blackhawks' Connor Bedard has signed his extension worth $75 million over 5 years, $15 million AAV, which is average annual value. According to Hall of Famer Chris Chelios, revealed that free agent Patrick Kane is currently deciding between returning to the Chicago Blackhawks or signing with his hometown Buffalo Sabres. We'll see when that happens, or what he decides to do, or if that's true at all. We'll see. WNBA, the Indiana Fever are 16-10 and play tonight at 7 p.m. versus the Connecticut Sun. Chicago Sky at 9-17 play today at 6 p.m. versus the New York Liberty. And then, obviously, we all know the World Cup. Spain beats Argentina 1-0 in extra time. Pretty good game. Sad ending for Argentina.
And
that's sports. Okay. Tyrus, good job. Hour number 3 of Breakfast with Roger and Friends. And if you're just joining us, we have a lineup of all-stars. We've got Terry Chamberlain, a well-known movie and theater critic, and John Meisinger, well-known.
Just well-known.
Yeah. And Tyrus, who does sports and hangs out at Casey's in Princeville. And we've got Johndisharoon, who hung out in Belgium for 5 years. And how many years were you, Johnny, in China?
Belgium for 7.
7, sorry.
Wow.
I never lived in China.
Never
Traveled
lived.
there frequently.
Well, you told me you lived in or visited, what, 139 countries, did you say?
Not quite 139, 103.
Okay. Missed it
Dang,
by
that's a lot.
that much, yeah.
Didn't you about get trapped over there?
And then to add to this illustrious group, we have a well-known actress, a musician, and producer, Annhagaman. She's on the line. Good morning, Ann. Hello, Ann. Are you there?
Yes, but you're really soft.
I'm really soft, am I?
Yes, I can't hear you too well.
Well, how's this? Is that a little better?
It's a little better.
Okay, I think, let me make an adjustment here, and does that help a little bit?
A little bit, but I just apologize.
Well, we've been having some
Try to
technical...
call her back
technical-
again, maybe hang up and call again, because we had problems with the phones on Monday as well.
Yes,
didn't
we did. Yeah, I don't know why we did, but she sounds great.
Yeah,
You
we
sound
can hear.
wonderful. I stink, but that's unusual. That's usual for that matter. Can we, let's see how we do by asking you, tell everybody a little bit, you are a Peoria girl.
Roger, you turned her off.
Yeah, you turned her off, Roger.
Excuse me?
Go ahead, you're okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So very, very, very proud of Peoria and Central Illinois. And after high school, I went to study acting and theater, and actually during that time met the love of my life. And it just so happened that he was working at Caterpillar. And I thought, oh boy, okay, I guess I'm going to be in Peoria for a little while, which is fine. But we raised 2 wonderful sons, and the whole time I was raising them, I knew that one day I would be doing my acting work professionally. I was very involved in community theater. I did work through arts grants through the Illinois Arts Council, which involves education in arts as well. And when my boys got to be in high school, I thought, okay, it's time. And that's when I acquired a apartment and a agent in Chicago, still maintaining, our home in the Peoria area, which my husband and I actually still have because most of my family is still in the Peoria area. And so I began my journey to explore being a professional actress. And what I thought would happen, this is just for anybody who's listening and thinks they might want to try sometime, it is never too late. There are roles for all ages, and now even more so, there are roles for everyone, and you don't have to look like a magazine cover either to pursue this. What I thought I would be doing would be theater, and I did a little bit of that, but I started getting callbacks for all these on-camera projects, films and commercials and episodics. And my agent said, oh, no, this is a good thing because it pays so much better than live theater. So thus began my journey in my on-camera presence. And I'm very proud to say today I share my time between LA, Chicago, and Peoria, because again, we have maintained our home in the Peoria area. And I have a film that will come out. The producers have asked me to keep some of this to myself. I signed an NDA, but I can tell you that it's going to premiere in LA in September. It's called Seniors, and it stars John Rhys Davies, who played Sala in all of the Indiana Jones movies. He also was Gimli in Lord of the Rings, and I play his younger sister. And then Pierce Brosnan's son, Paris Brosnan, will be making his big film debut in this. And it's a beautiful, intergenerational, and I say that because you've got one star who's 80, another one who's 24, and then there's me. I'm right in the middle there. And it's a very unlikely friendship that develops between John, who's a, quote, senior over 65, and Paris, who plays a senior in high school. And it's a beautiful family story. It will be available to stream in October. I believe it's going to be on Netflix, but we'll have to talk again when I have permission to tell you all the details on that one.
And this is John Meisinger. I did see an ad for that on Netflix. It's called Senior, right?
It's called Seniors Plural.
Okay, Seniors Plural. Yeah, I saw an ad actually last night on Netflix that coming in October.
Oh, well, there you go. So I must be able to talk about it then. It's been a couple weeks since I touched base with the producers. I'm not sure why they're always secretive about these things, possibly because they want to make sure the deal really is going to get signed, you know. But, well, that's interesting. I'm going to have to peruse my Netflix then and look around for it because I wasn't sure. But we actually shot it. Something else that's interesting about the world of the film industry and the episodic shows, too, is that they're not just being done in LA. They're being done everywhere. And I'm really proud to say that my home state, Illinois, is forefront of this. We have such great film tax incentives in the state of Illinois. That's why all the Dick Wolf shows are being shot in Chicago. And I've done Chicago Med and Chicago Fire. Not bragging, just letting you know, though, that Illinois and a few of the other states offer really great tax incentives for those who produce and invest in these film and TV projects. So this film that's coming out, Seniors, was not shot in LA. It was actually shot in a very small town in Indiana, of all places, primarily because the scenery they needed and the atmosphere that they needed, it needed to be small town Midwest. And so they landed in this little town called Huntington, Indiana, where we shot it. And so, you know, that's just kind of an interesting thing, I think, because growing up, I always thought, oh, well, I have to live in LA or New York all the time, you know, to do this. And that is just not true. Actually, any of your A-list actors may have an apartment or something in LA or New York, but they don't really live there full time. So, yeah, so the work is everywhere. And I'm just really, I feel very blessed that I'm healthy and that I can continue to tell stories that need to be told. And, you know, as an actor, it's the journey's always changing. It's unlike any other job, I can tell you. And, you know, I can go for periods of time without anything, and it's not because someone's not qualified or not even right. I mean, there's just so many factors involved in casting, and I'm just really fortunate. I have a manager in LA. I have an agent in Chicago, and I have an agent in Atlanta. A lot of things are being done in Atlanta right now, too, again, because it's cost-effective to film there. So anyway, but yeah, I'm excited later on to get on Netflix, John, and look this up because, yeah.
And I was just trying to look it up on Netflix on my phone, and I can't find it now, but I swear last night because it caught my eye because it said Seniors. And there was a picture of the gentleman that you actually described that was in the movies. And so now I can't find it, of course. Yeah. So don't break your NDA yet because I don't want you to get in trouble.
He's having a senior's moment.
Yeah. He's having a senior's moment.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, no, but that's interesting.
You know, you were talking about how different age are still viable for performing and being in movies and so forth. look at the gal who is starring in the new version of Matlock. Gosh, how old is she?
Kathy Bates.
Yeah, Kathy Bates. Yeah, how old would she be?
108.
No.
You guys are so funny. Yeah, you know, oh, and I love Kathy Bates. I mean, she's an icon.
Yeah, she is.
It's
Misery.
luckily, oh my gosh, that, and of course she won an Academy Award for that. She is amazing. I didn't get it, but this past winter, well, just like 4 months ago, I auditioned for what they call a guest star on her Matlock version. And so just so you guys know, and for anyone who's listening, when you get an audition to be, even if it's just a one-time deal like a co-star on a hit show, it's a really big deal for an actor because just to get the audition, your agent and manager, they have to pitch you like majorly because there's thousands of people out there. And the downside of this filming being done everywhere is that they look at actors from everywhere. So even if I'm in Chicago or Peoria at the time, I have rooms where I have my solid colored backdrop, I have my tripod, you know, I'm using my smartphone horizontally to film these things. And but I was really honored to know that this casting directors, you know, saw my reel, looked at some things I've done, and thought, okay, you know, this is a viable contender for this guest star role. And you know, it did result in being on hold. Do you guys know what that means?
Oh yeah.
Well, I know what it means on the phone.
Yeah, I know. I've been on hold for a week now with someone.
For
but
an actor, once you do an audition and then you might get a call back, and in today's world, a lot of times the callbacks are still virtual. They set up a time with you on Zoom, you know, when the director is giving you direction and all that. And then the next step might be, okay, well, we're going to narrow this list down, and then you get notification from your agent that you are, they want to know if you're available. So they give you the dates. Are you available? That means they've narrowed it down. And then the next step would be the really short list. Well, now you're on hold. That doesn't mean you still have the role, but there might be just one or two other people, you know, that are waiting to hear. And so it's always a good thing to hear that. But once you're called in with the casting director, generally speaking, they'll call you back. And that's always a good thing. Do you guys mind if I bring up something that I'm attempting to do that really affects the Peoria area?
Oh, absolutely. I just want to remind everybody we're talking with Peoria actress, musician, and producer annhagaman, and she's going to tell us something earth-breaking, news-breaking right now.
I don't know if it's earth-breaking. And actually, Roger, a few years back, in fact, it was probably, oh my gosh, right before the pandemic probably, but everything had to be put on hold. But there is a film project that I have co-written with a writer friend of mine that is based on true events that happened in the Peoria area. It was originally called Real Prayers Are Said in German. Right now, the working title is Say It in German. We're not sure what it'll end up being called, but it is an intergenerational family drama, and it's based on true events about my father's family, who they're German, who immigrated to the U.S., and my daddy, who, bless his soul, he sadly passed away 2 years ago. But it's about his and his two sisters' childhood growing up in the Peoria area, very poor as German immigrants, being, obviously victims of anti-German sentiment often, and about their journey and how they overcame adversity and hardship when their father came down with tuberculosis. And I know all that stuff sounds sad. There really are light moments in this film, but this story we were supposed to film in the summer of 2020. All principal photography would have taken place in the Peoria area. We're going to use historical buildings like the GAR Hall and yada yada, as they would say on Seinfeld. And when COVID hit, Universal, who was going to give us the bulk of our money to film this, obviously had to pull out. Nobody was making film. And we just kind of got this put on the back burner, and just one thing after another over the past 6 years, I just haven't been able to get it back on track. So I'm bringing this up because I am on track now to try to get this filmed next summer, 2027. Again, all principal photography will take place in the Peoria area. I've got my eye on a farm in Woodford County. My daddy and his sisters grew up on a farm. Another component of this involves the Chicago Cubs. So I don't know if you guys are Cubs fans. Are you Cubs fans?
I'm a Cub fan. We have some Cardinal fans in the studio, but their mics are off.
Okay. Well, anyway, the Cubs play an important part in this because as a child, again, as I've alluded to, my father and his sisters experienced a lot more hardship than maybe the average child, and they found comfort and solace in Chicago Cubs baseball. Now, of course, they could never afford to travel to a game, but they had an old radio. They would listen to it on WGN. And, of course, locally, they would listen to WMBD. And their father, before he became ill, had taught them how to play baseball. And so they would gather all the kids in the neighboring farms and get together and play sandlot ball. Even my dad's sisters. In fact, he'll admit his older sister was probably better than he was at the game. So there's a lot of moving parts to the story, and we've already won an award from the Parents Television and Film Council based in LA for most promising family drama screenplay.
Wow!
And so I'm hoping to get this done next summer. I'm actually actively looking for one or two local people who would like to serve as producers in terms of creativity, so that even when I'm not in Peoria over the next 6 or 7 months, I can have them doing tasks and getting things ready for us. So that's my goal. We do have a website. It needs to be updated, but it's Say It in German .com. Actually, it's Say It in German Film.com. So SAY it in German Film.com. And we have a woman from Grey's Anatomy attached to play my grandmother. I will be in it. But anyway, that's something that I have, on the docket that I hope can come to fruition. It's kind of my love song to my home area. We have a beautiful community in Peoria, Illinois, and I'd love to see a film that I actually think will go somewhere, that won't just be, it'll actually get a major streaming deal, I'm hoping. And of course, specifically for Peoria, we would arrange to have it actually play in a theater for at least a short time, because we hope to involve a lot of local people on screen and behind the scenes, in this project.
Well, sehr gut, guten Morgen. Wie geht es Ihnen?
Yeah.
Achtung.
I'm sorry.
Eins, zwei, drei.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Ja. Nein.
Again?
Ja. Frau Anne.
nothing.
Yeah.
I think it sounds great.
Hey, Ann, what high school did you go to?
I went to Spalding Academy. It was still called that then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Went to Spalding Academy. Yep. Yep.
Academy of Our Lady,
and
honey. Academy of Our Lady.
Yeah. So I
AOL.
went to the grade school I went to was St. Mary's in Metamora.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So my parents raised us out on the east side of the river, and I have two brothers and a sister, and they're still all in the Peoria area. As I said, my dear daddy passed away 2 years ago. My sweet mama passed away this past spring, and I will admit, part of my grieving for them is getting back on the horse and making sure that this film gets done and is completed. I was very fortunate to have an incredible childhood, and the German part of my dad's family, and my mom's part German, but my dad was full German. Thus, Hageman. I kept my maiden name when I got married.
One of those.
Just, yeah. So anyway, so there's that, guys. I'm going to be quiet and let you guys talk for a second.
Okay. Well, I will say this, and it's a delight to talk to you. You'll be hearing from my agent in the next couple of days when he gets out of prison, and so.
Good luck with that, Roger.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm excited. We run out of time, but let's stay in touch and keep us up to date on this wonderful movie that you're working on.
Oh yeah, it'd be.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I think if you guys wanted to, in a few months, whenever, we could do this again, and I can give you all kinds of updates.
We'll do it.
Sounds
and
great.
It'll be sooner than 2 months, but as always, thank you so much, Ann, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, thanks, guys. You have a lovely day.
You take care, Ann.
Too. Interesting stuff. I had more things I wanted to talk about, but we just ran out of time. I wanted to talk about the movie that she helped produce called Sand Prairie that was shot in Tazewell County, and with John Conover, I think his name was. I tried to get him yesterday, but left a voicemail. At any rate, we need to catch up with somewhat of the news, our final newscast of the morning. And our news this morning brought to you by your hometown community banks, division of Morton Community Bank, 50 locations in central Illinois to serve you. Look for the clock tower and you'll know they have time for you. Member FDIC. Does that mean you're leaving?
I'm out.
Okay.
I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, I know you're running to apply for a part in that movie, Seniors. Yeah.
Seniors is the movie.
Yeah. All right. Let's start with the news with Terry and John.
The increase in the use of electric bicycles by young people was illustrated yesterday when a 5-year-old boy on one of those e-bikes was hit by a car in the 1600 block of North Great Oak Road near the Pearson Hills apartment complex a few blocks west of Sterling Avenue. Peoria police say the 16-year-old driver left the scene without attending to the child. The teenager was located and arrested later by officers, while the boy went to the hospital with minor injuries.
Like an old soapbox TV series on CBS, that empty 20-story high-rise business building at Jefferson and Hamilton in downtown Peoria is in the local media almost daily. Originally known as the First Federal Savings and Loan Association Tower, the structure is now named Riverview Plaza. Years ago, it was filled to capacity and included the studios of WIRL Radio.
Today, things have changed. The city has been after MJ Illinois, owners of the structure, to make life and safety repairs. City attorneys were in court seeking payment of fines levied for fire code violations 2 years ago. The court continued the case for 60 days. The building remains empty.
Kind of empty, but aren't there people like working out in the basement? And
Yeah, kind
But the developer claims that's not a true story. So I don't know who would make it up.
And they lost their attorney. Something's going on there.
Yeah.
He had to back out. Since Caterpillar's headquarters left Peoria, its stock has soared in value, and the company has expanded, especially with the purchase of over 400,000 square feet of office space in Irving, Texas. CAT will spend $36 million to renovate the building that will be next to a planned 424,000 square foot parking garage. So think of that. The parking garage is bigger than the office building.
Yeah.
Probably why they bought the property.
Probably.
Yeah, you're right.
President Trump is promising more bombing and more airstrikes against Iran, while also weathering attacks in Congress from some Democrats who want to pack up and leave the Middle East. The White House said that's what happened under President Biden in Afghanistan, leaving behind billions of dollars of military hardware now used by the enemies of Israel. During that retreat, a total of 13 U.S. service members were killed and 45 wounded at an area known as Abbey Gate.
War Secretary Pete Hegseth revealed the war in Iran has cost an estimated $37 billion. Spending so far related to the war in Ukraine estimated at roughly $195 billion, about $127 billion supporting Ukraine with military, financial, and humanitarian aid.
Here's a hot topic to chew on this morning. The Internal Revenue Service is planning to tax members of Spain's World Cup soccer champion team up to 30%. Some Democrats and Republicans think that's wrong to tax the $50 million the team won. Defenders say Americans have to do it, our professional athletes have to pay it, and when Spain came to the United States to compete, they knew it. But if they didn't, they certainly do now. Some lawmakers say the tax will make it difficult to attract other worldwide events. What say you?
Yeah, what say you? It is something. Well, let's find out about the weather. Brought to you by Advanced Medical Transport. Central Illinois, been around, the men and women of AMT since 1991, saving lives with paramedics and EMTs. You know, AMT serves, get this, 65 communities at least, with 54,000 emergency calls a year. When seconds count, count on Advanced Medical Transport. Where's the weather?
It's sunny today and breezy, high about 77. Tonight it's going to get down to 57 degrees. Tomorrow sunny with a pleasant drop in temperature, high about 78. Tomorrow night it's get down to 59 degrees under cloudy skies. Friday, sunny and 77. Saturday, a little warmer at 86. Sunday, 93. Monday, 92. Currently 69 degrees.
Today's Pet Tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little-known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Stress is all around us these days, especially in the workplace. Some employers are seeing the benefits of folks bringing their pets to work with them. This can be great for both you and your pet if the proper precautions are taken. First, only take dogs to work that are properly socialized, well-behaved, and clean. Then consider the type of work you do. A construction worker versus an office or daycare worker will have different needs for their pets. Make sure all their vaccinations are current. Take all the doggy essentials such as toys, bed, water dish, leash, and pooper scooper. Find a safe spot for Fido. An outdoor worker must make sure there is shelter from the elements, and it's not up to the others to watch for his safety. Office workers may want to have a puppy gate to keep Fido in their personal office space. A daycare worker will have to teach the children how to behave around a dog. Hard as it is to believe, some people are not fond of dogs. Make the experience a good one for everyone by taking others' needs into consideration and keeping your dog close to you and quiet. Taking some time to help your pooch adjust to the new surroundings, sounds, and co-workers will be a great benefit to all. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's Pet Tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
All right, we're on the home stretch of the final hour of Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WACU FM 90.7. And we have returned on YouTube, and you can get a hold of us, watch us, throw things at the TV screen on YouTube at Roger and Friends LS. You know, you were talking about parking decks. I have never liked parking in a parking deck. It is eerie. At night, it's very dangerous. I know the parking deck at Methodist, the one that is currently there on Hamilton. The other one was across the street from the hospital. And I remember when it started to deteriorate, and I don't know if you know what the shelf life, so to speak, of a parking deck is, but when it starts to crumble, you need to get rid of it.
Yeah, if it's built properly and maintained, it'll last. You know, concrete just gets harder and harder over time, which is why it breaks apart, right? If it's not stressed and has the right rebar, and you got to take care of surface imperfections that happens. You know, I parked in the Caterpillar parking deck downtown. It was built in 1965. So, you know, it's going on 60 years old, and it's constantly under renovation.
Yeah.
But there are other ones, you know, that the Sears deck downtown, you know, every time you got out of your car, a piece of concrete was falling down, and you were getting, you know, rust stains from the rebar that was breaking through the concrete, and the water dripping on it and staining your car. You know, that one obviously wasn't well maintained. So if you take care of it, it should last forever, like the Hoover Dam. But if you don't, 15 years and you're out.
Yeah, interesting. I remember when they built the parking deck across from the hospital in the 200 block of Northeast Glen Oak, and they poured concrete in the winter. And I said to the architect, "Is this a good time of the year to be pouring concrete?" And he said, "Doesn't matter, because in the winter they add an antifreeze liquid or component to the concrete to make sure that it cures properly."
Yeah.
So I guess they can do anything under any circumstances if they have, quote, the right tools.
But look at the roads that we drive on. I swear Illinois puts in temporary roads, so it's under constant construction. You know, it used to be they'd pour concrete, and every 7 or 8 years, just look at Chicago, right? I mean, the toll road is under construction perpetually.
Yes.
But there is an elastomer that they can put in concrete that'll last forever. It costs 3 times as much, but in the long run, it would probably be cheaper. But you know, you can't fight the union halls that want to build highways. So
Yes.
there you have it.
Well, it's just amazing what we do, and Illinois continues to be from what I hear from people, including truckers, still one of the worst states for highways.
Horrible. Horrible.
And why is that?
And we have the highest gas tax of anybody but California.
California is higher.
Yeah, but you know, California also has 5 times as many people as Illinois does. But it's they say the freeze and thaw effects it. I just think it's shoddy workmanship. They put in temporary roads so that they can continually repair them because they know how to do it right. They do it in the rest of the world.
Yeah,
That's right.
You know, it's not like Europe doesn't have changing climates. Florida's hot all the time, and Florida, you know, you can
Roads can buckle if it gets too hot.
Right.
And
And how many times does that happen? Where just on Route 6 or 474, you get a hot day in the middle of summer and it buckles, it pops up, and then you know they got to shut down the road. But Route 6 has been under construction for what, 10 years?
Yeah,
Oh, at least.
that interchange with 74, 474, and 6 is been a mess, and I get a big kick out of the station that does the road report. It's like the inside lane is closed as what they report on Tuesday. The right lane is closed. On Wednesday, it said the left lane is closed, and and I was out in the area of 474 and 74 and Route 6 yesterday, and they've been working on that since Gettysburg, I think.
We moved back to Peoria in 2006, and there has been continuous construction on I-74 for 20 years. I mean, they did the big road project when they redid 74 from the bridge to Route 474, but there has been continuous construction from the river to Chillicothe and Peoria for 20 years, without fail. And they added a new bridge, and they've done a bunch of stuff,
Done some stuff,
but it's been under constant construction the whole time.
Yes. And of course, Peoria is well known for let's screw up all the alternate routes all at the same time.
Let's do it all at the same time.
Yeah, instead of, okay, let's concentrate on this one so people can go over this way.
If I were Ray LaHood, I'd pull my name from that highway.
Right.
Ray, you listening?
Yeah.
There's an idea.
Yeah. No, he's in Michigan, so unless he's watching on YouTube, he probably isn't. You know, we talked some time ago about this. Do you remember when we had the big the plans for the highway from this area to Kansas City?
Mm-hmm.
I forget what they called it, but Canton was an integral part, as I recall, of that. What happened to that?
Forgotonia, wasn't it? Wasn't that what they called
Yes,
the whole area?
yes.
Yeah, and so they were going to take 336. They actually made 336 4-lane from Macomb to the border, and they were going to run it on Route 24 and the Canton-Cuba Blacktop. I mean, they just pipe dreams they talked about. I just heard last week, they widened the bridge at Route 24 in Banner. They were going to make 24 4 lanes all the way from Mapleton to Canton, or maybe Lewiston. And they spent 2 years redoing that bridge and put it in. Now IDOT has pulled the funding. They're not going to widen 24. After
Did they say why?
Just different priorities. Probably because it's downstate and they're taking all of our tax dollars for Chicago.
Chicago area.
But they put that $15-20 million bridge in and acquired a bunch of the right-of-way, and they even had a deal with the former mayor of Peoria, I think, to buy dirt from him for the fill-in on the side of the road, and now they've abandoned it.
Yeah. I will say that's a nice part of the highway.
It's the nicest part, but you're not using, 2/3 of it because it's widened.
Yeah.
You got 2 lanes coming down the hill and 2 lanes going around the corner.
Yeah. You sometimes wonder. We had Omer Osman, who is Secretary of Transportation for the state of Illinois, on. Brilliant guy, an absolutely wonderful guy, and his wife, very intelligent. I think she teaches in Texas, so I don't know what kind of a family get-together they have, but delightful guy. He may have retired. There might be a new Secretary of Transportation for the state of Illinois, but there's a lot of activity going on, and one of the arguments I have, or criticism I have, constructive criticism, of course, is the people that work for the Department of Transportation do not know how to set up safety cones and directions. They have all these, got to state, the left lane is closed ahead, and they set that up at the interchange of 155 and westbound 74. But they're not referring to I-74. They're referring to 474. So they get everybody over in the lane headed for Peoria when they realize that it's the lane of westbound 474. So it's kind of directional misdirection, if the grammar is correct.
And then in North Peoria, you're coming out on Route 6 off 474, and it says exit 9 closed. use exit 8. Well, if they would say Knoxville, exit closed, people wouldn't drive all the way to Chillicothe. Because they get up there and they're like, I mean, they don't know what the number is. Give us the name of the damn street.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's the same when they said there was an accident at mile marker 894. I have no idea, and neither does anyone else know where mile marker 94. And they do that on TV, a newscast. There was an accident near Congerville at mile marker 894. Why don't you say near Congerville, east or west, and forget the mile marker unless you're a trucker. Maybe a trucker driving along can say, well, let's see, I'm an 890, so it must be up ahead here somewhere, Bobby Joe.
Yeah, we need to do better.
Yeah, I think you're right. Just to note that people are saying, where is John Meisinger? John took leave of the show, said it's going downhill fast, so he didn't want to be associated. So
you know, you won't meet a nicer guy than John Meisinger, but how do you get Meisinger hours?
I'm asking myself the same question. So I've got to call in to Human Resources, but they don't come in until noon.
I mean, you won't meet a smarter guy than Dr. Siddler. You won't meet a nicer guy than John Meisinger. And, of course, you know, the ever most popular Teri sits over there every day. She doesn't get up and leave you early.
I have no idea if you're looking for an answer.
Is it a union thing?
Yeah. I can't talk. My attorney said keep it under your armpit.
John, we love you. Hopefully you're listening in the car, laughing right now. Stay in your lane.
And I a little, since you brought this up, normally we have our attorney who has given us exclusive information because he represented the mayor of Peoria Heights. You have any thoughts about that, or did you not follow the DUI? The law says driving under the influence. He was not driving.
Yeah, but it also goes on to say that if the key's in it and you have the opportunity to start the car, blah 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 blah, which I think is crap. He wasn't driving. He made a conscious decision or an unconscious decision not to drive, as the case may be.
That's a good way to put it.
But I tell you what, I will hire Kevin Sullivan if I ever get in trouble because the guy is just a stalwart, and I think a just decision was made. I think there was a little bit of petty politics involved in this.
I think you're right.
Just my opinion, you know.
Well, we're all entitled to our opinion.
I thought it was if it was running. They could get you for that. Like,
and they can.
Yeah.
They can, but I don't think it's necessary.
The car was not running, and the fob was in his pocket.
Yeah,
so
he didn't
no.
even have the
But
keys
Kevin made a great argument, as someone who owns an RV, that you could, under how they prosecuted or tried to, the mayor of Peoria Heights, said it was capable of operating. Well, if you're in a mobile park in an RV, and I remember when we would pull in, and a good friend of mine and his wife, he would drive sometimes, and when we would pull into the park, he would, as part of the meal, have a couple of strong drinks. Well, technically, based on what they did, they could arrest him because he, by the way, in our RV, the keys were in the ignition.
You don't take them out so you don't lose them.
You're right. Exactly right. So technically, the way it was prosecuted, they could have, somebody at Yellowstone or Mount Rushmore could have come on and said, anyone drinking in here? Yeah, I have had a couple. Well, you're under arrest because you have the ability to sit in the chair and drive away. Of course, you have to unplug things. You have to unplug the sewer line, and the electric line, and the water line.
Yeah, I think the mayor's first problem was going to the gridiron. Everything after that was downhill. Next time,
I'm surprised they still do that. As a matter of fact, I wrote a script one year for it, and it basically is a program where they roast with a lot of obscenities and profanities other people, and that's not my cup of tea.
And the last time I went, it was really raunchy, and it was. I mean, it's been 10 or 15 years ago, but it had been a couple times. It was same stuff, different target. And,
No, you're right.
I didn't find it entertaining.
John Disharoon, thanks for coming in this morning. God bless you. And Terry, we will see you on Friday.
Yes.
And we will see you next week, Tyrus. Have a great day, everybody. John Meisinger, God bless you. Thanks for coming in and helping us make this the award-winning program it was this morning. I don't know who's going to give us an award, but we'll take it.
Annhagaman.
And Annhagaman, thank you. Have a great day, everybody. Remember, God loves you, and so do we.